Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition. I'm glad to be here and bring you a spooky special today. Oh, oops, one second. There we go. Fix that up real quick. This week on Hotfix, we have a bit of a spooky theme. We've got several shows that are going to have horror games, so we decided that this week on the Community Spotlight, we'd show off some of the horror games that aren't being shown on the other shows this week. So we're going to be starting off with Resident Evil 1. And Witch Rain is here to help run that for us today. It's going to be a lot of fun. But make sure you tune in tomorrow for Random Number Generation, where they're going to be going over Resident Evil 3. I'm not entirely sure what the tie-in is there, but that show was about randomizers and randomizer communities, so I guess they have something fun prepared for you all there. Should be a lot of fun. And of course, later in the week, the first step is going to have Resident Evil 2, as J. Hobbs and Keys go into their first attempt at speedrunning that game. So it should be a lot of fun. Make sure you tune in for all of that this week. And of course, if you haven't seen the up-to-date information, all of the dates about SGDQ 2020 online are available on our website at gamesdonequick.com. So, Witch Rain, hello, how are you doing today?
Hello, I'm great. How are you doing?
I'm doing pretty well. Why don't you give us the quick overview of what we're going to see here today? Because this is Jill any percent knife only. How does that vary
Yes.
from the runs we usually see of Jill any percent?
Well, usually you see Jill using the bazooka, which it's probably the easiest Resident Evil speedrun. So using the knife makes it a little bit more challenging because the regular Jill any percent is very static. It doesn't have a lot of RNG at all, and so it can get very, boring, like after a while running it over and over again. So for me, it's like I still want to keep running this game, so it just changes it up. There's some strats that I really like the Yawn 2 strat, how to kill him. That's really interesting to me. I like the knife canceling of the zombies, and yeah. Do you have anything to add, Clicks?
I think it's pretty well said. We'll explain all those tricks more in detail once we get started, of
Mm-hmm.
course.
Yeah, and of course that's Clicks Gaming who's joining us for commentary. Thanks for being here today.
Thanks for having me.
Is there anything you feel that is important for a viewer to know if they've never seen a speedrun before we get started?
Um,
Go fast.
yeah, confess. Um, Probably, I'll probably just explain like the pause canceling in this game real quick. If you see me pull up my inventory while I'm slashing my knife, I'm doing this because I'm canceling the slash animation. I'm canceling it so that I can move earlier than you're supposed to, and this gives me an advantage because the enemy is still in recovery frames. So if you see me up in the menu, that's why. That's why I'm doing it.
And overall, it's about avoiding enemies. There's very few kills, so it's very passive.
Yeah, mostly dodges.
Sounds good. So if you are ready to go, I am ready when you are. Why don't you give us a
All right.
countdown?
I'm ready.
All right, I guess I'll take the reins here.
Okay,
Ready?
let me
Yeah.
get on Jill. Okay, ready.
All right, 3, 2, 1, go. And we're off to the races.
Mhm.
It's not really a race, but you know what I mean.
I mean, maybe we're racing against a PB. That's
Yeah.
racing, right?
Well, it is a speedrun, so I guess it's always a race against time. So every speedrun's a race if you think about it. All right, so contrary to Chris's category, Jill's has a lot more dialogue, so it starts off a little bit slow. There's a lot of talking, but that'll give us an opportunity to start explaining some of the tricks and mechanics of the game that's going to be used. So it is knife only. Bazooka usually makes pretty short work of bosses, and that's the major difference between normal any percent and knife only, is the boss fights are entirely different. 2 of these boss fights are skippable without the use of glitches, and the rest are actually fought and killed with the knife. We'll explain those when we get to them. Like she said, she's going to be using a lot of knife canceling, which is a form of pause canceling. In this game, what that does, and it's the only Resident Evil game, actually, at least among the classics, where you're able to pause and open the menu, interrupt gameplay during attack animations. So what that allows in this game is with the knife, it's used to slash an enemy, and as soon as that knife makes contact, you open your menu and you close it. So time has not passed since that moment of striking with the enemy, so he's under stun and iframes at that moment. But opening your menu and closing it allows the character to reset to neutral positions, so it cancels out the attack animation they're in, and they can move immediately as soon as gameplay resumes, which allows you to bypass during that stun animation, because according to the zombie, he still is in that moment where he just got struck, and it's just a way of canceling the animation and moving the character during those stun frames where he can't grab you. So if you ever see the menu, you're actually going to see it in about 2 minutes, and you'll see it several times throughout the run.
So what I did just there was the transition. What we call the transition is when Barry tells you to go look for Wesker. All you have to do is cross that threshold and cross right back and do a very thorough search for Wesker.
Yeah, that's the nearest trigger to trigger this event right here. It's the closest point you do that. You can walk up the stairs and back down. It's much slower. There's actually a lot of technique. It's a little more than just running and backing up. To get the fastest possible transition, if you do it perfect, you can actually skip the camera change all in all, which looks kind of funny because Barry respawns. You see Barry respawn in position for the cutscene, but it's super, super precise. But the way to get the fastest transitions is right before the camera change. You want to let go of run, so you end up walking into the camera change, which kills the forward momentum, and you're able to draw the character back immediately rather than fight against that momentum. So it's all about when you release the run to really get it the fastest. And you have to do it right on the camera change. If you fall short, it's time loss. It's kind of difficult and scary, but you get the hang of it.
So chat really wants to know the story with the purple shirt.
Okay, this is a custom skin. It doesn't affect gameplay at all. We also wouldn't allow it on the leaderboards, but since this is for fun, it is a custom-made skin for Witch Rain herself.
It was made by I Am Pasta.
Thank you, Pasta. Purple's her favorite color, and it also has her avatar on the sleeve, which it's hard to see, but it's there. Okay, so you're about to see the first pause cancel here. Okay, so pretty much what I explained, it allows her to get by during his stun frames. And that is the King Henry dodge.
Yes, I did the safer dodge there where I stopped and then pre-turned. There is a riskier dodge you can do without stopping at all, but it's very risky.
Yeah. Saves about 0.3 to half a second, depending on how optimal you are with the safe method.
Yes.
So it's a very small sacrifice to, for the sake of consistency.
Normally here we would be going to get Bazooka, but since it's knife only, we're going to go straight to Statue Zombie.
Now this is one of the hardest things you'll have to deal with in any knife run, which is any Chris run as well. So it's random. This zombie could drop in 1 to 4 slashes. We're hoping for 2. We have a backup strat for 3. 1 and 4 is going to be the issues. Ooh, okay. He was aggressive. So that's 1. There's 2. Just going to pause cancel. Okay. Good. That's a 2 slash. That's what you want.
At first, I was too close to him when I swung the knife. I should have been a little bit farther behind. But his behavior in the beginning is random as well. Sometimes he's more aggressive. Sometimes he derps into the corner there.
That's what makes it so complicated. Is it's different every time, and you really need to understand what you need to do.
You really have to react to him.
Yeah, it takes a lot of practice.
What makes the difference between 2 or 3 slashes there? Is it just random damage, or is it how you're doing the attacks?
Random damage.
Yeah, it's random health generation. Because the zombies in this game have random health. I forget what the exact values are, but it's...
Yeah, and there's the minimum and maximum and everything in between. That's possible.
There's also an RNG where he can get up too early and you can't do anything about it.
Yeah, we plan for a 2/, so when he's 1/, we don't plan for that because it's rare, and that's also trouble. Although theoretically, if you knew it was coming, would be optimal, but you would never.
It's so rare. It's
Very few times has it worked out.
I would say like 5% of the time.
That
Oh,
was a really, really good piano. Okay, so
that trigger. I don't.
your positioning when using the notes here is crucial. There's a specific coordinate that Jill needs to be in for the cutscene to play, and that's the way the game's programmed. And it's all positions and dialogue based is how the cutscenes flow. And the closer you can get to that cutscene position when you use the notes, the less adjustment the character will make before the cutscene starts. And there was almost no movement, which means you pretty much had perfect position.
Yeah, there's a similar thing in RE2 when you trigger Ben's cell.
All right. So I believe we are going to make our way over to Richard, which is where the first snake boss, whose name is Yawn, which we call Yawn 1. It's the first encounter of him, with him, of 2 in the game. But we're not going to be able to fight him just yet. In Glitched, we could go straight through and do a sequence break, but since this is no major glitches, we are going to have to go grab a serum for this character, even though he dies anyway.
Spoilers.
Yeah, sorry. If you haven't seen this game by now,
Richard,
well, you're missing out.
happened?
Glitched, there's a frame-perfect pause cancel that interrupts this cutscene and gives you character control during a cutscene, which obviously isn't supposed to happen. But there's some kind of interruption between interrupting gameplay on the same frame that the game loads certain cutscenes. Doesn't work for all of them. This is one of them it does.
Hold on.
And you're able to leave the room, and
Serum.
it's complicated, but in a nutshell, it
No,
results
I
in
should've
Richard
brought
dying
some with me.
within seconds,
No
so you don't
problem.
have to go
I'll go and get it.
grab the serum, which we're gonna have to do right now, which is an extra trip to the other side of the mansion. Probably the biggest time-saving glitch in the game. Actually, by far.
Yeah. And we're gonna have to bank again because my inventory is filling up.
Yeah. Are we en route so far?
Mhm.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
That's what we call the Rocky Dodge.
Yeah, we call him Rocky Balboa because, you know, Eye of the Tiger here. It's only logical. That is it's an intermediate level dodge. I won't say it's too hard, but there's a little bit of a setup to it.
Yeah, he can definitely trip you up, and you have to dodge him on the way out as well, which I think is
this
the
one
harder.
is a little more precise. You get very little time to react. Yeah, there's some tricky movement. You don't just run to the right. You actually have to pre-turn and then time when you apply your forward movement. So it's fairly precise. All right, so we're gonna bring the breakfast pancake syrup, or serum, or whatever it is, back to Richard. I mean, the least you could do is give the man his last meal before he
It's only humane.
moves on to a better place. So there's a little bit more talking
Here's the
here.
serum. Richard, hold
We don't
on.
really understand
I'll
what
give
the
you a
point of the
shot
serum
now.
is for.
Jill,
When you have
here's my
7
radio.
gaping
You
holes
should
Mm-hmm.
like that, I don't think poisoning is the issue here.
No.
It should probably be.
Richard.
I mean, even if you did,
Jill,
you know, give him a shot of serum, it would just fountain it.
Yep.
There it goes. It's all over the floor now.
Yep.
But I guess it's the thought that counts, right?
Yep, she tried. We tried.
Rest in peace, Richard. Hope you enjoyed those pancakes.
Okay, here is like the biggest hurdle for most runners in this run.
If she gets bit, she loses a minute. No pressure.
I've got a
Early
fight.
Okay, so based on exact movement, it's really hard. There's a safe strat to provoke an early bite, but an early bite is pretty much a freebie. You don't have to time the exit dodge. So if he gives you that, you can just keep running straight. Otherwise, if he bites later, it actually comes down to when you make your turn, you have to time it to make the dodge.
Yeah, it's not the most precise thing, but it's precise enough that you need to practice it.
Yeah, people that put plenty of time into practice don't really struggle at yawn, but for new runners, that's the big wall right there. It's getting that dodge consistently, and it's the biggest time loss you're probably ever gonna see in any category. So it is the big wall for new runners. With enough practice, experienced runners, 99 out of 100 times you won't get bit, and there's no luck involved at all.
Do you want to explain the text scrolling and stuff?
Oh yeah, text scrolling. In the later games, 2 and up, they sped up the text dramatically, even for English text. In this game, it's slower, so you don't mash through it like the other games. It's so fast, you can just mash it. In this game, there's a whole technique to it. You have to hold the action button to get the text to scroll at its fastest. So mashing, you would be throwing away frames, and it would be slowing down each time you let go of the button. So you want to hold it, but you need to memorize the length of all the text in the game, or be able to read Japanese really, really fast. And know exactly when to let up and mash to the next, or to be able to when the yes/no selection is coming up. So you do have to memorize the length of each line, and to optimize, you do have to get that button held. This is one of the hardest tricks in the game coming up. This is called quick frames. Okay, so that's a precise clip. If she was to go too far, she would have to run all the way back around to the other side of the ladder again. Unbelievably clean. Beautiful.
Thank you.
Once you do that clip, push the stepladder to the wall, you have to make a movement toward the left, and the only way to reach the crank is to be on the farthest possible left side of that ladder, and it's very precise. And you have to be quick about it, or you won't actually save the time.
That is a lot tougher than yawn, but it only saves like 2 seconds.
Right, or it can cost you many, many more if you mess it up. But it's extremely precise. And what they want you to do is push the ladder at least once toward the camera, but it's a way for us to get around that. But it barely works, which makes the positioning extremely precise. And if you don't get it, if you walk up, you're not far enough left, you have to walk all the way back down the ladder. You cannot move around freely on the step ladders, which they added to the later games. So it's very risky.
Okay, so I'm gonna tank this bite, and this part's RNG.
Okay, we got good RNG. Bad RNG would see there's a second zombie in this room. You might catch a glimpse of him. If he pushes up early, as soon as you run into the arms of the other one, you're going to have to deal with both at the same time, and they have a tendency to block you in. You can even get stun locked, trapped, and die very easily. But more times than not, your RNG is okay there. Hers was good, and he stayed back. With knife-only categories, that's always a risk. And you can die very easily if that second guy pushes up early. So, thankfully, we got a break there. But the real RNGs to come from the boss fight, we all know is Plant 42 of this area.
He is like 95% RNG. There's a little bit you can try to do to maybe get it set up, but ultimately Plant 42 decides your run. So I'm gonna bring a safety herb just in case.
Great bookshelves there.
Thank you.
That's technically I don't even know if you'd call it a clip, but it's forcing the hitbox in.
Yeah,
if anything, it clips a few pixels on the sides, but it's
yeah.
a great frame saver.
Yeah, we
really
want to
push
push those bookshelves minimally.
Yeah, you really have to.
It's risky though, because you can push it not enough, and then she won't go down the ladder.
Yeah, you'll lose several seconds. So you really have to be good at the movement in the game to. I think that's what I like so much about RE1 classic speedrunning, and RE2 as well, is it's all micro execution. It's all perfect
lines, triggers, angles, trajectories.
And the main category, any percent, Jill is extremely optimized, and to push that record further, it comes down to all of that fine-tuned movement execution.
So now we have to drain the water out of the basement. This area is a lot different than Remake.
Yeah.
There's not much to this area.
No, not a whole lot can go wrong here. Remake, that's not the case. Wasn't even paying attention. Did you get tub turn?
I did get tub turn.
Woo!
Do you wanna explain what that is?
It's hardly worth it, but sure, why not?
That's what you gotta do in this run, though.
So, earlier when she drained the bathtub and took the key out of it, there's a little trick that saves a few frames. It's kind of neat. When the text is going on and it's asking you if you want to drain the tub, if you hold to the right and then choose yes, and you're already holding right, there's like a frame or two where you actually get character control before the cutscene plays, which is kind of weird. And you can use that to kind of buffer a little bit to the right, so you already kind of get a head start on your turn. It's almost nothing, but it's a neat little trick. All right, this is the Plant 42 fight. We need your thoughts and prayers. We don't have a Bible. We had to use it to open the door, so it's up to you guys to pull your Bibles out, cross your fingers, and wish the best of luck. Ooh, a little further than you want to be.
It could be okay, though.
I think you're okay.
His hopes are high, so that's a good sign.
Yeah, I think you're good. Wasn't sure at first, but yeah.
But that is good. I am happy with that. I will take that. No smacks. That is some good RNG.
That's almost perfect.
I was expecting to get trolled. That is not what that typically looks like. Usually you will see runners getting smacked around all day.
Especially in a marathon. You know how that is?
Yeah, especially in a marathon.
Amazing fight. Barry's like, put the knife away. I'm gonna show you how to use a real weapon here.
I guess Jill's the only one we care about only using a knife, huh?
Yes, unfortunately there's nothing we can do about Barry cheating with his flamethrower.
Which he got from the caves, which is inaccessible because who could ever walk through a waterfall to get to the ladder, right?
Somehow he got the flamethrower from caves.
And look, he's dry. I don't know how he did it.
Thanks, Tori.
Don't mention it. What a monster. I can't believe... What the hell is this place anyway?
And that's the key you went through all this trouble for. Or in this case, not much trouble at all. Great fight.
The cutscene. Wesker shooting at bees.
Yeah, so this point of the game, we're going to make our way back to the mansion, and all of the zombies get replaced with hunters. And large spiders in one of the rooms. So we consider this Mansion 2. It's the return to the mansion. It's at this point of the game you start unlocking the path to get down to the underground caves, which eventually leads to the lab, which is the final section of the game. So most casual RE1 players have one thing in common. They hate hunters, and reasonably so in this game. They don't care about your health. If they do a jumping or lunging attack and they connect, you're dead. It doesn't matter if you're full health. It's an auto kill attack, and it's a scripted event. If it connects, you're dead. So it has nothing to do with damage values or anything, and that's what makes them dangerous. For casual players, they're a big threat because they tend to get aggressive when you aim, we don't kill any hunters in. I think there's one category. It's optimal to kill one hunter. Other than that, you dodge them, and they're actually safer just to dodge. One thing to note is they're all left-handed. So if you dodge them on the right side, as long as your movement's okay, you'll get the dodge every time.
Yeah, there are a few that you approach them from behind, like the one before Yon too. He can definitely just tag you. That one's probably the hardest one that I had to deal with.
Yeah, it's the one hunter in the game where you can't guarantee you'll get by. And the only category where you have extra ammo to spend to kill him efficiently is glitch.
Yeah. But nobody runs that category. It's really hard.
I mean, some do.
A couple do. I mean, I do. I did.
You have to have patience, and you have to have a lot of practice.
Okay, so we got a really tame hunter there. Sometimes he's in your face. There is that one too. If he's aggressive, it's a little bit scary to trigger that door and unlock it and trigger the door before he hits you.
Yeah, sometimes he'll be right on you. Regardless, worst case scenario, RNG, he's aggressive as can be. Proper movement, it is dodgeable 100%.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just really scary.
Yeah, skill will outweigh the RNG there.
Okay, so this fight, I love this fight. Sefjul actually came out with the strat like a couple of years ago, I think.
Almost, yeah, somewhere around there. Really beautiful.
It just works out so clean, like.
So those first two stabs is basically a timing setup. That's their function, is just you need to be at a certain a certain position when he bites you. And the two first swings that whiff are a way to set up your timing, followed by walking straight forward, which keeps you consistently, guarantees you're going to be in the right spot at the right time. After that, it's a series of the fact that the knife, when you do a straight attack with a knife, when Yon's head is up, you get multiple hits, like 5, 6 ton of knife slashes. I don't know why. I don't know if it's the hitbox arrangement or if that's intentional. And then there's when he goes to lower his head, which to get those combos, you need to keep him up. If you slice up, it forces him to keep his head up. And that strat is just a combination of when to attack straight, when to attack high, when to attack low, when to turn, which way, how much. It's kind of complicated, but with some practice you can get it.
Yeah, and it's extremely consistent. Also, we are not waiting for Barry in this, as this is any percent.
Yeah.
So Barry's gonna die, I'm sorry.
He will. Poor guy. Another knife cancel. Very well done.
Thank you.
I believe I goofed that up in my last tournament match. I missed that one.
I've goofed it many, many times. It's a tricky one.
Yeah, it really is.
And this dodge coming up is also tricky. Floor zombie dodge coming out.
Yeah, this is harder with Jill than Chris. It's usually the other way around when it comes to dodges. Very nice.
Thank you.
Very, very nice. You have to watch your angle there or he will grab you. It'll be a 2-second time loss.
That's Gordon Ramsay.
Gordon Ramsay.
He liked my cooking that time.
Yeah, well, no, he never does. It's just you were able to get away from him.
Yeah.
Like if he had it his way, he'd be.
I got away from his score.
Putting two pieces of bread on each side of your head, calling you a stupid sandwich, or actually asking you what you are and forcing you to say it. But you know, we don't have time for that today, Ramsey. You have yourself a nice day. Alright, so she's hugging the inside lane here. Dogs would block you if you did that, so line's a little bit different this time around. Good dodge there. This guy's wide open.
Yeah, that guy's free.
Easy peasy.
That last hunter.
Alright, now we are going to shut off the waterfall to make our way down to the caves, because heaven forbid you walk through a waterfall to get your mission done.
I know.
So we got to turn that
it's
off.
impossible.
Jill is not waterproof, unfortunately. And it's literally all that's blocking your path is a waterfall.
Yeah, so we have to go
Makes
shut
sense.
that off.
Absolute must. Now, when she puts this battery in, she's going to take the elevator up. This is the biggest part of RNG, the most common part of RNG in Jill any percent, which is the most consistent RNG free category. This is where the RNG will come in. It's these dogs. Whether or not you take a bite.
And I got
that was
really
absolutely
bad.
horrible.
Really bad RNG.
Horrible. Nothing you can do about that.
I will take that though. I'll take bad RNG in Courtyard over Plant 42 though.
Right.
Like I can't even complain.
Now, in most categories, that's not a killer. Even if you're going for record and Jill any percent,
Yeah, that would be real.
that's it.
But knife
no matter
only.
what your pace was, there went record.
Yeah.
So it does matter in that category.
Knife only, it's still okay. Like, if this run would be fine. Like.
Yeah, for sure. But knife only, you got to be concerned with health, and that's where.
That's why I've been picking up health because I'm like I am not dying.
Right. On a record run, you put all in the line. And
yeah, you don't pick
taking
up
those
health.
fights. This is going to catch up with you late game, and you'll see why. So this is Caves. We have a little bit of talking here. In Chris's scenario, you have to do a very precise line and grab a crank on the ground with 2 hunters in here. And if you mess that up, there's a high chance of stun lock and to death.
Yeah, Jill gets a free pass though. There's no hunters in here.
No hunters, yeah. So that won't be a threat. She is going to be coming up to Black Tiger, which is the boss of this area, which is a spider. So do what you will with that name. I don't understand it, but sure.
Black Tiger the spider.
Now, Yawn won the first encounter in the Mansion one. We skipped. He's a skippable boss without the use of glitches. This is the other skippable boss in this game without the use of glitches. So if you've played this game before,
I knew it.
In the room where you fight the big spider, the doors are covered with layers of webs, and you can actually damage those with the bazooka, flamethrower, or a knife. Any weapon that isn't hit scan, pretty much.
Yeah, in BT Spit, you also utilize her attack to break open the web as well.
Yeah, so she can damage it herself if you lure her shot into it. And in this strat with knife only is a combination of hitting it with the knife and dodging her spit and guiding that into the web so it helps break the webs open faster. If she does it optimally, it's a very gorgeous looking strat. Jill is unique. Chris can't do this, but Jill can actually attack with the knife from behind her. Pause cancel. Very nice.
Thank you.
So the pause cancels was to cancel her animation and be able to get the next attack off faster. If you don't do that, there's no way you can get 2 attacks in and still have time to dodge the acid spit. So it's a very technical fight. That was really well done. Is it possible, Jill, to get free on the second acid spit, or do you need that last?
Well,
or before the second?
No.
So that was optimal.
It's not the optimal fight. The optimal fight, you risk poison. So you really gotta go, like, you only do the optimal fight if you are grinding for world record. That is very close to optimal, but it's safer.
No 7 crank, that was nice. I think most runners that have put a significant amount of time into this game has done this. You use the crank 3 times there. Sometimes you get lost in thought or talking to chat.
Yes.
And you do it one other time, and you have to do it 3 more times to bring it all the way back around.
It's a huge time loss, and you feel like such a dingus.
Pretty much the worst mistake you could possibly make in Resident Evil 1.
It's bad.
Which is known for it. I think she has the world record for doing it the most.
I did it in one of the tournaments we held.
Oh no.
Yeah.
You still won that.
I was gonna say, did you win the match?
I did. It was it was like the first one, I think.
I think her opponent fell asleep during that one. She got lucky.
Do you want to explain what I'm doing here? With the medals, like opening and closing the menu.
Yeah. So most people think you have to. So when that medal comes up, spinning up, you can cancel it and then use it from the same menu. But we found that it's faster. At that point, it allows you to close the menu and reopen it, and it skips the animation of the medal going back in, and then the use option popping up. It's faster just to close the menu and then reopen it and use the item.
All right, we're heading into labs to use the famous PC.
All right. If you think you have a bad computer at home, just be glad you don't have this one. And let's pray for no input gobbles. Okay.
PC mistakes can be devastating. Like if you accidentally hit the wrong password or you back out accidentally, it's like at least 15, 30 seconds of time loss.
So if she typed in the wrong thing, she would be getting another chance to type right about now.
Yeah, Jill would like slam her hand on the desk.
Oh, there's also a skip. When you turn this computer on, if you hold the action button down, it skips the logo of the umbrella logo and the operating system booting up.
Just hold in the action button. It's like 7 seconds of free time save.
Yep. Don't mash. Hold it. And that's what, 7, 8 seconds, you said?
It's like 7, I think.
It's been so long since I timed it. I want to say 8.
Right about now, I start thinking about
okay.
The dodge.
We'll just call this Naked Zombie Dodge. That's more appropriate than the name we gave it. Here we go.
Oh, I knew it. He didn't aggro. He didn't aggro. Okay, so sometimes that happens. Sometimes he doesn't aggro. Like, you're supposed to aggro him the other way, but sometimes he's not paying attention, and that happens, but...
Yeah, or if you turn back to make the dodge too soon, it's very positional. He reacts. How he reacts, it takes some practice. It's one of the harder dodges in the game. And if you take the optimal line without coming wide, it's even more
that
precise.
one's scary. I stopped doing that.
You gotta have confidence.
This is the quiet room.
Real can you guys hear me? So, next few rooms, just general movement, and then it's the big potty break before the final boss.
Yeah, this is the designated bathroom break.
4 or so minutes cutscene.
Well, it's not as bad. It's the worst in Jill 100 and best ending. It is literally 5 minutes game time. Which, I mean, isn't like the worst I've ever heard of, but, you know, it's pretty long. Like, when you're on, like, world record pace and you're just, like, the adrenaline's pumping, 5 minutes down with a cutscene you've seen 100 million times is, like, it's just...
And you just want it to end at that point.
Yeah.
Like, am I gonna get it or not?
There's also something to be said about the percentage of the run of a cutscene that it is. Seems
Yeah.
like a pretty large percentage of the run that is this cutscene.
Right, because this is only a 39-ish minute run game time, so it's 5 minutes is pretty long.
Yeah.
Well, you don't have to worry about anything.
So it's a good thing and a bad thing. A break can be nice before the big moment to see whether or not you're going to get a record or a PB. At the same time, having that suspense can kind of kill your momentum. Your muscles are resting. You could lose your groove too. So I think it just comes down to player perception. It can help you or it can hurt you. That's up to you how you want to take it. I'd try to turn it into something positive if you can. Try to walk around, stretch, do whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, what is she gonna do with downtime? Try to make the best of it.
Catch up on chat. But so this tyrant fight, this is the any percent knife tyrant fight, which is different from regular any percent and also 100% knife only. It's pretty cheesy. This one, basically we're just trying to set up Tyrant so that he gets stuck on the key that Wesker drops.
intimidated,
and
but it had nothing to
we're
do
just
with
gonna
Umbrella.
slash him until he dies.
Personal
But
choices.
if you mess the
Both you and
setup
Barry seem to
up,
think I was
it can be
following
dangerous. He can slash
So
me.
you're planning something else?
If he combos me, he could kill me.
developed the world's most powerful
Uh,
biological weapon.
But there is a chance that if I do mess it up, I can set it back up. You know, like.
We're in charge.
But it's just really time costing. So you don't want that. You want to be clean with it. You want to get
But if I were you,
right over there and
I'd
set it
such
up
a big
perfectly.
discovery.
But it's just one of those strats that it's all down to like a single moment, and if you nail it, then you get it.
So you're going to steal all the research?
Better yet,
Yeah, so what's going to happen
show
here
you the tyrant.
is she's going to run to one side of Wesker's body. Once the tyrant kills him, he falls to the ground and it creates some collision to work with. He also drops a key, which has a very tiny piece of collision on it.
It's the only ones too. It's the only like pick-upable object that has collision. It's very weird.
Yeah, very strange, but that's the way it works, and it's the actual key that Tyrant gets stuck on.
Yeah.
In 100%, Wesker doesn't drop that key, but he still dies in the same... Or no, he's not there at all.
No, Barry's there for Jill.
Barry's there.
He's there for Chris though.
Yeah, he's there for Chris, but he doesn't drop the key, and this strat will not work because of that.
Yeah, so you just have to like.
It's a legitimate knife fight.
Yeah, it's...
Dodge, swipe, pause, cancel, dodge.
It's pretty crazy. It's fun though.
It's difficult.
But this one, we're going for the cheese today.
Yeah, so she's going to try to get him stuck in place, and then she's going to stand there and knife 23 times if all goes well, until he drops. Basically stun locking him. And she's going to start out running to the other side of Wesker to lure Tyrant to that side, and then run to the other side. The strat won't work if you're close to that computer. That side, you have to come to the other side. And then she has to get her positioning right, and she also has to start the attack sequence at the right time for this to work.
Wesker bites it.
You can't control what it does.
So she's going to wait. He can go either way. You just got to be ready for it. And she's looking a little far left. Distance is good. He may break free at any moment. We still don't 100% understand why he does that. We think it's positioning and proper timing when you start the attack. This may be good. That's 19, 20, 21, 22, and we get a pause
How
cancel.
do you count while you're talking? I can never do that.
It's a superpower.
That is a
I was like-
superpower. I agree.
I was like, I'm gonna count because I'm not gonna talk because I have to count. And he's like, okay, I'm counting right with you, even though I don't. That's pretty crazy, Clicks.
Did I do good?
You did good.
Oh, good. Beautiful fight.
Thank you.
Absolutely flawless.
That's the that fight I would be happy with in a run for sure.
Yeah. I wasn't sure about the position, but it worked. I'm starting to think it's more on when you apply the attacks.
I was, you know what,
With the
I was pretty
position.
comfortable with that. I didn't think he was gonna break away. I've practiced this fight a lot, and I see like the range where you can stand, and I was pretty confident in that.
Yeah,
Just leave me.
I think it might have more to do with distance rather than position.
Yeah,
and-
but sometimes like
I know.
you'll think it's fine, and then all of a sudden he'll just wiggle free. All of a sudden you're like, wait, why?
You see a lot of comparison videos of successful and failed runs or fights and really do a lot of research.
Hmm.
I think one day we'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Give
Oh, here Barry fell off the ladder, unfortunately, so now he's gonna die.
Yep,
Sure.
because there are no monsters in this room. So.
give me.
Also, the go ahead.
I was gonna say he's gonna die because he fell off a ladder and not the giant, huge wound that he has.
Yep.
Hey,
No, well, that's
look
why.
at that box.
That's
You
why.
see that
he
wooden
did.
box? This is important.
Yeah.
Watch that box after the. It's metal.
I know the wooden box. For some
How about
reason,
that?
it's wooden in the cutscene.
How about that?
They forgot to change it or something.
Took me a while to notice that one. It's whoops.
Brad's phoning in. We're almost there.
Capcom, we need a patch.
Last battery.
Was that fixed in the remake?
I hope so.
I don't know. Probably.
You
That
made
would
the
be
past
hilarious
joke
if it
and I was
wasn't.
like, you know, I wonder if they did.
Can only hope.
And here there is no roof tyrant because Barry died. So we
Right.
used the flare, and that's GG. That's it. That's all we got.
Great run. All the major points went so smooth.
Thank you.
And that's what Knife Only is all about, is the bosses, really. That's what makes or breaks runs more than anything.
I missed the time button. I'm sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Timer actually stops.
Oh yeah, the
at
timer
fade.
actually stops when the fade out comes.
Oh, okay. Okay.
We'll call it, yeah.
I thought I missed it. So we're waiting for the fade out and for the actual run end of the run here.
Time.
If people wanted to get into running Knife Only or Resident Evil 1 with Jill, where would you suggest they go to learn about the speedrun?
I would definitely suggest Clix's tutorial. It's very in-depth. It's about 4 hours long, so if you don't want to learn every single...
It's not a Knife Only tutorial, though.
Oh, it's not... Yeah, it's not a Knife Only.
I would just watch runs on the board.
Yeah, for Knife Only, I would watch runs on the board, but you can still get a lot of benefit from that tutorial.
We also, if you go to our leaderboard on speedrun.com, you can find the community Discord, and there's also RE Speedruns Discord, which is an event channel that we do races and community events and charity events and stuff like that.
Also, if you just message me or Clicks, we are always like very happy to help people learn this game, be involved with this game. So I love this community. So just hit me up about it.
Yeah, ask around. We're helpful.
Yeah. Do you have any shout outs you'd like to give before we wrap things up?
Yeah, I would like to shout out Desert Eagle, Dr. Maximus, Boba Chet. There's so many. What about, I'm sorry if I forgot you. What about you, Clicks?
I'll let you handle it.
Me? Clicks Gaming. Shido. And everyone else.
Sefjul.
Sefjul.
The man who found all the glitches.
Yes.
Yeah, and the Resident Evil Discord is linked on just the speedrun series page for Resident Evil if people are wanting to hop in there and learn about these runs, since somebody asked about it in chat.
Yeah.
But I think that mostly wraps things up, so I want to say thank you, Train and Clicks, for being here, showing us that run and giving us excellent commentary.
Oh, thank you so much for having us. It was a blast.
It was a pleasure, yeah.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. And coming up next, we're going to have Outlast 1, going to be run by Marforia. So stick around. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to play a few ads. If you do have a subscription available, you will not get those ads. And of course, the month of June is coming to a close. So if you didn't hear before, during the entire month of June, all of our sub and bit revenue is going to be donated to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. It's a really good cause. So if you have that Twitch Prime hanging around, want to skip out on those ads, definitely do recommend throwing it in for a good cause. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with Outlast 1. So stick around. Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Community Spotlight. We had a quick little break there, and now we have Catlink and Marforia here with us. Marforia is going to run Outlast Glitchless, which is going to be a bunch of fun. But just as a quick reminder, this is we got a bit of a spooky week this week on Hotfix. So if you like horror games, make sure you tune in for other shows this week, because there's going to be other games being featured. Tomorrow is going to be Resident Evil 3 on random number generation starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And of course on Thursday, Hobbs and Keys are going to be semi-blind racing Resident Evil 2. So it's going to be a lot of fun this week. Make sure you tune in for more if you are a fan of the horror games. But hello, Marforia, Catlink, how are you both doing today?
Doing wonderful. How about you?
I'm doing pretty well.
And hello, everyone. Thank you for joining tonight. And hello to Kat.
Hi. That's me. Hello, everyone. I hope you're all having a splendid evening, and I hope you're ready for some Outlast.
And I hope everyone's ready to get spooked because this game is pretty spooky. We had a OG Resident Evil 1 earlier, which, I mean, to be fair, back when it came out, that game was pretty scary. But, now it's kind of like our nice classic, and, it's like
It's a
comfort.
It's a comfy game now.
It's a comfy game.
Comfy
So
horror game. I like
it
that
is. It
concept.
absolutely is.
Silent Hill, Resident Evil, I swear, they are good, comfy games.
Yeah, those
Yeah,
ones are more about like the atmosphere, I would say. Where Outlast has a
for
lot
sure.
more spook to it.
Yeah.
Atmosphere, spook, and then some.
Yeah, so we're gonna kind of get you guys a little spooked tonight. I hope you're okay with that. I will do some warnings for jump scares too. One for me, one for Kat, and then all you sort of guys, everyone out there. So yeah, I'm good to go whenever you are. Time actually doesn't start until we gain control of our characters, so I'll go ahead, hit new game. We'll be running this on normal, so we are an investigative reporter trying to find out what's going on at this insane asylum. So this cutscene is going to play out for a little bit, and I will tell you when time starts.
Okay, yeah, just let me know. I'm ready.
I just want to say, I like how every single time there's a horror game with an investigative person going in, it's always them going by themselves.
Yeah.
They almost never go with somebody.
Especially, he's on a remote road going to this insane asylum, I guess it's kind of out of the way. It's in Colorado, it's probably in a remote area, so at least bring one other person with you.
Yeah, you would think you would, but...
It's interesting because you point that out after we had Resident Evil 1, where multiple people went in and it didn't end well for everybody. So
it's a hit or miss, right? It's like you go by yourself, bad things happen. You go with other people, bad things happen. You just can't win.
Well, see, the thing is that bugged me as a kid when I first saw Resident Evil 1, and just any horror movie in general. It's like you go in with a group of people, but then they all split up. Like no one sticks together.
Oh yeah, that too.
That's a common trope in horror games and stuff too, or horror movies, just horror media in general.
I blame Scooby-Doo.
Jinkies.
Yoinks. Zoinks. It's zoinks, not yoinks.
Yeah.
Is it zoinks? I always thought it was yoinks.
I think it's Zoinks, yeah.
Yeah, Y and Z are kind of right next to each other, so probably easy to mix that up.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so time's actually going to start as soon as we take control of Miles here. So 3, 2, 1, and we are off.
Off to the races!
It was funny, Live Split decided to not start there again, but it's okay, we don't need Live Split.
Did you just ring a bell, Kat?
Yes,
She did.
I do have a bell. Wherever I go, the bell goes.
I appreciate the commitment.
It's a wonderful addition. So this game, it's kind of interesting because it's a stealth game. All the options you have to do, you can only run, jump, or hide, or die. So
One or the other.
You also have a video camera that has night vision as your source of light when you're in dark areas. So yeah, definitely can be a little spooky.
Let's hope we don't lose that.
Nah, if we lose our camera, I'm gonna quit the game and leave. I'm sorry, guys. I can't deal with it. Gonna just rage quit out of the whole run if we lose our camera.
That's the end. So, one thing to mention, for those who are unfamiliar with the different categories of Outlast, this is glitchless, which is probably the best category in my opinion because it just has so much meat to it. It has way more, visual story. You get to see more of the game, whereas any percent, we're already at the end of the game.
Yeah. The any percent run is about 8 minutes long. I know, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, it's about 8 minutes. So when we were outside climbing the scaffolding and stuff, that's where you would kind of go do your out of bounds glitch, and then you drop into the underground lab at the end of the game. And then after that, you just kind of progress through the lab section and do a couple more glitches, and that's it. Game's over.
I didn't know it got that busted. I knew at one point there was some skipping of floors and
it's
shortening it by small amounts, but that's impressive it's gone that far.
So
Yeah.
fun note about that is that, because I used to run Outlast 2, so in Outlast 2, they actually made it impossible for you to skip large portions of the game. So if you decide to go out of bounds and skip large portions of the game will actually auto-kill you.
Wow.
Because it did not like the fact that people broke their game so much. So that's fun thing to note.
Well, I guess it's a good thing the Doom speedrunners don't have to deal with that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Alrighty, so right now we're on our way to grab a security card because we're getting introduced to some interesting characters here. We got introduced to a guy who claims to be a priest. We're just, now that we're in here, we're just trying to find our way out.
We're just, trying to find the items to get our butt out of here, and we got this big man chasing us. It's a scary time. I don't like it. I want to get out of here.
Speaking of scary times, there you go.
Ah!
I think
Not
this one.
again! I mean, what?
I think this jump scare literally shot me out of my seat the first time I played this game. Oh goodness.
Yeah, there's a few good jump scares in this game.
Yeah, they did a really good job with just the sound design and just kind of creating that tense atmosphere. So we'll be seeing a lot of that here in this game.
I mean, who likes to be trapped in a place filled with crazy people?
Not me.
No.
So there is one little piece of speed tech in this game when you're running the glitchless category. So you saw me a couple times. I hopped into the doors, or I hopped into an interaction. So that literally just kind of speeds up those animations a little bit. The only times you don't do that is if a door is already half open. Miles will just kind of bust his way through there, and you don't have to worry about jumping into the doors. But this is where the game prompts you to hide, because we're being introduced to Mr. Chris Walker. But we're trying to go fast.
Yeah, we actually don't know who this man is originally, but his name is Chris Walker. But all we know is that he's a giant big man trying to chase us, calling us little pig.
Yeah. So now, since the power went out, we have to go start up the power. So we're gonna we're gonna jumpstart a couple of these generators here. And as you see how dark it is here, we kind of need your camera.
Yeah, just a little bit. Remember the amount of times I've went through here and gotten lost and ran around in circles because I ran out of batteries. It's not the best, but
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I was actually curious, in this run, how much does battery management come into play?
Oh, it's a big part in this game. So a lot of the people who are aiming for top times, they'll just keep their stock batteries that they already had. Also, mouse sensitivity in this game is a thing. Goodness, this mouse is very sensitive here. But yeah, you basically are going to try and run as much as possible without using your camera. But there are some places like here that you do want to use your camera at least a little bit, because when you have your camera up with the night vision, it drains that battery real quick.
yeah.
So for safety,
oftentimes you just see her going up and down with the camera, trying to use it as little as possible throughout dark areas.
yeah. So I'll actually be picking up at least one battery for safety. So just because, it's in you're in marathons. You want to keep it safe.
Safety first.
Speaking of safety first, this doesn't look too safe. This
No.
stranger injecting us with stuff.
Stranger danger!
But you can't.
Oh goodness.
Not yet. There is so much yet for you to witness.
Oh
Yeah,
my.
the people in this game, they
Will
just
you see it?
they just look so creepy.
Can you?
Oh yeah.
Can we go home?
The wall
I just want to go home.
is truth.
So now we get to discover the wall rider, is what they call him. You can start to see that the
Accept
police are being taken and dragged around and all sorts of things. We don't like anything about it.
Nah, the Wall Rider is essentially kind of like a ghost entity that we don't know too much about right now, but we'll learn way more towards of course, just like with any horror game, any sort of survival game, you can pick up files and pieces of lore to kind of piece together the story. But if you end up not picking it up in the speedrun, you will be told by various characters in this game about the Wall Rider. So we'll learn a little bit more towards the end of the game about what the Wall Rider is and who he is and why is he so angry and
why he's wall riding everywhere.
So interesting. Oh, go ahead.
No, go for it.
I was gonna ask someone in chat's asking, what's your favorite part of this game?
I was just about to ask that.
What's the favorite? So I guess, well, my favorite part of this game, maybe, I don't know, this is kind of weird, but just being able, like, since we're speedrunning it and we know the path, I guess it's satisfying to outrun literally all these characters that would normally kill you, like, during a first playthrough. It's really satisfying to kind of go through the path here. Because what's really nice about this speedrun is that it's literally just movement based. You don't have to worry about menuing, you don't have to worry about boss fights, you barely have to worry about item management. All you worry about is just going as quick as possible, going from point A to point B. So it's just satisfying to just literally run through the whole game.
Parkour!
What about you, Kat? What's your favorite part of this game?
I'd have to say I just like the atmosphere of it, just because well, if I had to say the one place I wouldn't want to be trapped in is an insane asylum filled with crazy people, and this place kind of just puts me into that, and I'm like, I don't like this, no. But I just like it just causes a lot of like tense emotions.
Oh yeah.
And that's what I just enjoyed more or less enjoyed more than the second game, is that I felt this was more channeling my claustrophobia, so I just enjoyed it for that. But again, if anybody's ever looking into like picking up a horror game to speedrun, this one is probably the easiest thing to get into, just because it doesn't have a lot to manage. It's mainly just run, jump, run and jump.
Run and jump. You don't even have to hide. The game will tell you to hide, but no, you don't have to hide. So, and not just that, like, how satisfying is it to, like, you play a game for the first time and you're super scared of it, but then you go back and you just kind of blaze through it like it's no problem. Like, how satisfying is that?
I mean, that's pretty great. Not gonna lie. I always do enjoy that. Although I'm quite the horror game fanatic, so most scary games don't really get me too much these days, but sometimes they do get me still.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like during your practice run, one of the little jumps that I forgot about, I was like, oh, that guy!
I think that scare is actually coming up here. The funny part about this, so we got introduced to these two cannibalistic men. We call them the twins. And anytime you see them, you have to avoid them because they are a one-hit kill.
Yeah.
You may notice with some of these random enemies that I've already encountered, I can tank a hit or two from them, but with the twins, they're literally, if you just brush up against them at all, you will die. So we just had to evade them right there. And what's also really nice about this game is the path is pretty linear, because you just kind of follow the blood. If there's open windows, you just kind of, or if you see like a curtain kind of blowing, you just, you have to go there. So it's pretty nice.
Yeah, it has the subtleties in direction, which is good. Which is not too bad. I mean, I like the little subtleties. I don't like a game that just directly has like yellow tape, or just like pure signs of, hey, go here, or the character being like, hey, maybe we should go check that out. It's like, no, please don't tell me. I want to figure this out on my own.
Yeah, like the game does give you like these small objectives, but they're still vague enough where you're not sure where to go. So that's pretty nice. So yeah, it doesn't exactly tell you where to go, but you're going in the right direction when you see little blood trails, and when you see light.
Which you would think, don't follow the blood. I mean, that's there's probably dead people along that.
Jump scare.
Oh, this guy. I hate this guy so much. He always gets me. And it's just so random. He doesn't do anything. He just pops his head out.
Another jump scare right here. Yeah, the one that Kat was talking about where he just pops his head out. I think that the one thing that makes that scary is, you already feel kind of claustrophobic crawling through this little space. and it's dark, and then all of a sudden this guy just pops his head out. It's so innocent, but it spooks you.
Someone says, do you lose any speed bringing up the camera? No, you don't actually.
You don't. Another thing that's really nice about this game is Miles has endless stamina. There's no stamina meters that you have to worry about. I know in Outlast 2 you have to worry about stamina. In Evil Within speedruns you have to worry about stamina. But here you literally can just run as far as you can, as fast as you can. Bringing up the camera doesn't affect your movement speed.
Yep.
The only thing that really does affect your movement speed is when you get hurt. You know, you'll kind of stagger a little bit.
Yeah. So you do have to be kind of mindful of your health and like how much damage you take, because just like a lot of Resident Evil games, you will start limping, and I mean, you don't want that. It's a speed run. We can't have that.
So how does health work in this game? Because there's no like really obvious health meter being displayed for Outlast.
So when you get hit, you'll kind of get this blood vignette around you, and
It's like
I guess
a blur almost.
Yeah, and your vision gets blurry, and you hear like the ringing in your ear. So yeah. Upon first playthrough, you're honestly not sure. You're like, how does the health work, and you know, how many hits can I take? But safely from normal enemies, you can take 2 hits. Or actually, you could take 3 hits from normal enemies, and then on the 3rd hit, you'll die. For Chris Walker there, the big guy who's been chasing us, you'll die on the 2nd hit. And then for the twins, you know, you'll die on 1 hit. So you just kind of have to know which enemies do what damage.
Yeah. Which is not too bad. But obviously with the higher difficulty, meaning like if you get hit once, you're pretty much done for. Like on Insane, I think it's literally like if you even brush up against a normal enemy, you're done. So not a lot of people speedrun that category for obvious reasons, but yeah, normal's fun.
Yeah, I think every base speedrun category of this game is on normal.
Yeah.
So I've actually
it's the most
not
competitive one.
Yeah, for sure. It has like definitely the most entries there for it.
This Chris Walker guy, he just doesn't let up.
He has endless stamina too. That's pretty scary.
Oh yeah, everything has endless stamina in this game.
Alrighty, so he hit us once, but thankfully, you know, we'll get away from him quick enough. So you'll see like the screen here it turns a little red and stuff. You basically know you're about to die when the enemy hits you, and then you start like dripping blood and spitting blood. Like the camera will angle down and you'll see blood and stuff like that. So that's when you know you're about to die.
Yep.
Alrighty.
So we got away for now.
Got away from Chris for now. We're in a very dark place, but it's okay. We'll get out of here just fine. And definitely an area.
Are you sure?
I'm positive. I'm pretty positive.
I don't know. Oh, this part.
This guy. He just peeks his
Hi,
head.
how's it going? Hey, bye.
It's like a Muppet.
Yeah.
I mean,
Outlast
their faces
2
look
has...
like... I was gonna say their faces look like Muppets, but what does Outlast 2 have?
I was just saying, Outlast 2 has a few little things like that. I remember I was hiding this barrel, and this one guy would just come out from, like, I was looking through one of the holes in the barrel, and the guy would just peek into the hole of the barrel and wave.
Oh my god.
I loved it. It was great. I was so scared, and I was like, is he just waving at me?
I don't think I've ever seen that.
Yeah, it just happened randomly, and I was just hiding in a barrel, and I was like, oh, he's friendly, I guess?
There are no friendly NPCs in this game. Actually, there are a couple.
Sometimes.
There are some.
There's a
Some
couple.
just let you walk by.
There's a couple neutral ones in this one, I would say. I don't know about friendly.
Yeah, you know, the ones that will just be like, oh, hey. Okay, bye.
Yeah.
Good day.
Especially in the intro area, some of the residents that are just sitting around not doing much, you know.
They're watching the static TV.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so she's doing a lot of battery saving power, or battery power saving moments here. Words are hard, right, chat?
A little bit.
But yeah, she's conserving her battery power just by constantly bringing it up and down, because the longer you use it, the more battery power you use. So obviously we don't want to have to constantly go get batteries. So she's gonna keep doing that.
So I do keep my camera up for quite a bit during this moment, or during this part, just because of how slow you move during this part. So when you're in water, we're going to have to hop as well. Chris is actually going to spawn here as well, but as long as we stay to the right... yeah, there we go. All right, there we go. As long as we get to this staircase, we'll be fine. Oof. We hear his chains and everything. So spooky.
No, thank you. Also, I remember we mentioned when we were talking through your practice run, how Miles just has the stamina of a god. I don't know how he does it, but he can just go through water like it's nothing. He can, run for days.
Yeah, he would be like awesome at like Iron Man and like Spartan races and stuff like that. Like he's just a journalist. He's an investigative journalist, but he can run. Well, his name is Miles, and he can run for miles.
I was waiting for it. It seemed like you were setting it up for a while there.
Or like, you got Sonic and Tails' name is Miles Per Hour, because miles per hour. Oh god.
So did that enemy smack you with his bar? Successfully block you from getting by, and then just turn away and leave you alone?
Yeah, I think someone else can pop up and hit you too. But yeah, that one guy, he'll just give you one hit. I'm pretty sure like the world record holders like find a way to not get hit by him, but. You know me.
Okay, because it looked like he just randomly took mercy on you, and I was a little bit surprised.
A little bit. He decided to be a little nice. So at this part in the game, they introduce you to like these kind of iron cabinets that you can push out of the way. It's kind of like foreshadowing, like, hey, you can, block doors with this if people are chasing you. But we don't do that because, that will take a little bit of time. So, but we do need to push some out of the way. So it just kind of introduces us to a little new item there that we have to be aware of.
We ain't got time for that. We don't got time for blocking doors.
Speaking of such, we're about to be chased by some very unhappy people right now.
It's fine, I think. They want meat, apparently.
They want meat? Apparently I stole their money?
Very bad.
So yeah, they, as long as we just follow this path and push the things out of the way and don't take too much time, we'll be able to successfully evade them. They're kind of heckling some weird things at us.
Yeah, they're just saying, they're just talking about how much they want to meet us. They're just spelling it wrong.
That's true. Instead of want meat, they want to meet.
Exactly. There you go. I love the tense chase music in this.
Oops! That was not supposed to happen. I'm sorry, guys. That was not supposed to happen. I think I jumped too early.
Oh no!
I think I jumped too early. Sorry.
Thankfully, there is a great autosave feature with this game where it does not put us too far back, so that's fine.
Oh shoot! It puts us all the way back at the beginning of the chase sequence. It's been a long time since I died there, so it's okay, guys.
We just get to talk to them about meeting each other again.
Yeah, and sometimes they leave off the M, and it's just pure accident. They still want to meet you.
Oh, no.
Feels bad, man, but it's okay.
We good.
They're just big fans of us,
I mean, you're an investigative journalist. Clearly, you've got fans, right?
It's true.
Yeah. They're fans of our work, and we're just really trying to get away from them.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, marathon luck! I swear. I promise.
The marathon luck is at it.
Third time's the charm, right, everyone?
We going in.
Actually, they spawned us on the other side. I think we got far enough. I think we got a little far enough. Because sometimes if you happen to die there, I guess if you're far enough, it just kind of spawns you on the other side. So.
I mean, that's pretty great. We don't have to do that again, so we take those.
Sorry, everyone. There we go. That's okay.
It was totally intentional.
Definitely intentional. Yeah, I think if you die further back, it spawns you at the beginning of the chase sequence, but if you die further ahead, it just spawns you on the other side. Which, of course, that's not quicker or anything. Like, don't take an auto death there or anything like that. But yeah. Good old marathon luck.
Now we get to talk to the doctor about our back pains.
Yeah, we get introduced to Dr. Traeger here, who is a very disturbed individual, as you may tell. I guess he was an executive here, but just like everyone else, they've kind of turned insane. So I guess he's gonna show us a few things. But this is a nice little break in the game. It's a nice long cutscene. I think it lasts about 5 minutes or so.
He's taking us on an adventure, chat.
He says we can leave. There's the exit, but we're kind of strapped in, so we can't go, unfortunately.
You know, I love the mountain air up here at night. You want to head out?
And it's weird because this looks like
Go ahead,
every time I run this game, I always sometimes like when it's been a while and then I've come back. Sometimes you kind of get lost because everywhere looks the same, and this looks, you know, exactly the same, like at the beginning of the game, but it's different. Like everything looks the same. Very easy to get lost.
I like how I've mentioned this during your practice, but I like how I feel like the doctor here has some sort of inspiration from Clock Tower, because his main weapon is a pair of giant scissors. So I found that was pretty neat. I didn't think of that when I first played it, but
well, it's because you've been on the clock tower grind a little bit.
Yeah, going through all the clock towers, it's great. I love them.
I never played
go ahead.
Clock Tower, but what it reminded me of when I saw it was those enemies in Devil May Cry, the like witches with the huge scissors that would try and snap you up.
Ooh.
The snippety snap.
Does the Scissor Guy in Clock Tower have an official name, or do you just call him Scissor Guy?
It's Scissor Man. That's what they call him.
I'm sure.
It's just the Scissor Man.
I'm sure Ecdysis would know the name, but I don't remember it.
Yeah,
I've actually... like Burrows. There's like different names, and then there's most of the time they just call him Scissor Man.
Yeah, I've actually never seen any of the Clock Tower games until I was watching Kat play them. So, yeah, that Scissor Man, he's pretty scary. His scissors aren't as big as Dr. Traeger's here, or rather, Dr. Traeger's scissors aren't as big as Scissor Man's, but you know, probably inspired.
He's got some
by
big scissors, the Scissor Man.
Yeah. Eck is in chat and is informing us that's Bobby Barrows or Dan Barrows if it's the second one.
There we go.
Second one, Dan Barrows.
There we go. Ecdysis, you would know. Of course you would.
He would. He speedruns that game.
We got Bobby and Dan. All right.
So yeah, I guess he claims to be a doctor here. This room's pretty gross. He's done some sort of experiments here. There will be a kind of gruesome scene here, but we will not. Well, thankfully, the camera kind of like shakes a little bit, and we don't see it actually happen. He goes to cut off our fingers. There's them scissors. Yeah. Oof. Big oof. Can we get an F for Miles, everyone? Goodness. It's crazy because, like, I speedrun RE7, and there's a scene where Lucas pulls off his fingernails, and I can't watch that. But here it's like, well, we didn't see this happen, so...
Yeah.
Not as much, I guess. Alrighty.
It's time to get out of here!
Time to leave. But at least Miles actually does have a little bit of a reaction here before, yeah.
Yeah.
This morning's coffee, this afternoon's pizza, all of that coming up.
Nasty.
Alrighty. So Dr. Traeger, he went on a little walk outside, but he will be back. During this time, we can actually talk to this man right here, or rather, listen to him. But for the most part, I'm just gonna kind of wait over here. I'll be listening. I'm a great listener, but I'm gonna listen from right here. Because Dr. Traeger will be coming through these doors, and we can kind of juke him a little bit when he comes back in.
Just a waiting game while we listen to our friendly bedman.
Yeah, he's... Alright. Right here. Excuse me. There we go. Alright. Thankfully, you'll see a couple of these vents that are already open, and we just kind of have to jump up into those. Alright. So this is another important cabinet we have to push out of the way, because if we don't push it out now, then we'll be in trouble a little bit later. So we're kind of setting up for an interaction up here. Alright, now we're going to bait him into this room. Excuse me, and close the door on him. This is actually the one time we will close the door on someone, because you can die here. So
I like how it takes him a really long time to just open that door.
He's, we closed it with such ease. You would think he'd be able to open it since he has, like, a pair of scissors and all that stuff.
Maybe he's busy trying to, like, cut the door open instead of just opening it.
Maybe. He needs to use his head.
Here's Johnny!
Alrighty. So this will, that will put us up right here, and he will, I guess, magically find out where we're at. So we're gonna have to evade him one more time after picking up a key item, because you guys know when you pick up key items in games, something happens. You get an important
He's
game
cutting the
event
door open. He doesn't want to use the door handle.
There we go. So that cabinet we pushed aside earlier, we already pushed it open, and that door's already open, so here we are. Easy peasy.
Bye!
Goodbye, sir. Now, one thing that gets me, how did he get from that floor to all the way down here so quickly?
The man's magical, alright? We don't question it.
That's just
sir,
like...
Get off of my elevator. I don't got time for you.
Okay. Oops.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, not the scissors.
Not my fault. If only we could take those scissors, that would be nice.
Right? That'd be a pretty sweet weapon, but unfortunately, you don't get weapons in this game.
The game doesn't want to give you weapons. It's kind of interesting, because if anyone here has played Alien Isolation, that's another, like, stealth game where you just either run or hide, and you can get weapons in that game. So it's really cool that when they do have horror games that don't rely on any kind of weapon, such as this one, you kind of have to play it kind of tactfully.
Yeah, there's been a few good horror games where they never give you a weapon just to try and add to that sense of powerlessness. Like, when you have a weapon, you have a sense of agency that you can fight back,
Yeah. Which in some games, even if you do have a weapon, it can have a sense of, you can have a sense of, like, powerlessness, in a sense, I guess.
Yeah, it's just easier to create that when you don't have a weapon.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, in Alien Isolation, you feel pretty powerless for, like, a good majority of the game, but then once you get that first weapon, you're like, oh, hey, I'm not as scared anymore. Alrighty, so you guys may have seen the cafeteria was on fire, and before we can go outside, we actually have to put out that fire. So we are going to kind of activate this sprinkler system. We have to activate a couple of valves here while avoiding Chris Walker here. Owie. That was not nice, sir. Alrighty.
Don't go away, sir. I didn't ask for this. I like how he doesn't grab you out of there. Like, at the beginning of the game, he grabs you out of the crevice, but this time he's like, you know what, I'll let you go.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting how there's, like, scripted moments like that where he can grab you out of things like that, but when you're actually in the game, he's like, oh, like, the enemy AI is like, oh, they went through that little thing, I guess I can't grab them.
Maybe it's like a super meter and he has to build up his EX gauge to be able to do it again.
Maybe that's it. Just, let's go with that.
Alrighty, so we activated the sprinkler system. Now we can go outside. And Chris is going to leave us alone for now. And I say for now in, like, all caps.
For now. Yet again, here he is.
Alright, jump scare warning. Oof. I swear, like, in this game, and I know Kat and I talked about this earlier, it's always the enemies who don't attack you. They just kind of, like, pop up and push you aside. They're way more scary than just normal enemies when they come up and scare you.
The devs just like to mess with us, you know? They added a few enemies that don't do anything. They just like to make loud noises and scare you. You know, classic jump scares.
Just sensory overload.
Yeah. Loud noises! Sorry, what?
So we're here outside. We just had to kind of grab a key to get to the security shed. And what's really insane is the fact that, you know, we just had to go immediately to the left and then immediately to the right. But when you play this for the first time, you just, and especially if you're out of batteries, you're just like, oh my god, I have no idea where I'm at or where I'm supposed to go, because that yard is huge. You can explore quite a bit of that, and I'm pretty sure there's a file or two you can pick up. But yeah, it's always pretty funny, like when you learn a route, you're just like, oh, it's just right here. Like all I had to do is just go right here.
Yup. Yeah, fall damage is a scary thing sometimes.
Yes, and there is fall damage in this game, so I took that jump a little bit slow, because yeah, if you do fall from a story height, especially if you jump, you will die. Seeing how we died earlier.
But I like how fall damage plays a part of everything, but then again, but the man has no stamina and he can run for days.
Yeah.
Fall damage, my weakness, damn it!
A couple things they get right, but fall damage, we gotta make something realistic here, right? Alrighty, speaking of, you know, Chris Walker's gonna leave us alone, well, just kidding. He's popped up again. Oh, there he is. Excuse me. Sir?
Excuse me, sir. Pardon me.
Yeah, all you have to do is just kind of head towards the light, head towards these little pallets, and he'll leave you alone.
For now.
For now, all caps. For now. I'll go ahead and swap out that battery. It's not super low, but I have a little extra. Isn't that kind of weird? It's like, oh, I can just waste these batteries. I don't need them.
It's fine.
You can accidentally like reload batteries when it's already full. So I discovered that recently, and I was like, oh no, I did not mean to do that.
That's unfortunately a thing.
Yeah, and this part here can be very confusing to navigate, but as long as you just kind of hug the right wall and you'll see this light ahead, then you know that you're fine. Chris Walker appears yet again, because he's ruthless.
Yet again!
Uh-oh, excuse me.
Excuse
me.
No!
So, he doesn't kill you. You can get by him, but you can get by that quick enough if you can. Yeah, that can be a little annoying.
We're fine. Everything's fine now. We're fine.
So is that one more of like a scripted attack that you can sometimes avoid?
You can definitely avoid that attack. If you're slow like I was just there, he can pull you out. But yeah, you can definitely avoid him there. It was definitely one that you can skip. But yeah, we happened to see a little bit of him there, because why not? It wasn't intentional, guys, but it's okay. We didn't die.
Chris just wanted some screen time.
He did.
He wanted a little bit of, you know, he felt left out.
Oh, oops. My bad.
You're a journalist, and you got your camera out and everything, and you're not showing him on camera that much.
He knows that we're on a show, so he wants to be a part of it.
What about me?
So right now, we actually have to get access to the third floor here, but before we can do that, we have to grab a key. And before we can grab that key, we actually have to activate this laundry chute. And that laundry chute has the key in it, so we have to go grab 3 fuses. And this part you can definitely get lost in a little bit, but...
The good old fetch quests.
Good old fetch quest. We are grabbing 3 fuses, but we will be pursued by one unfortunate individual. He's gonna pop up. Where's he at? There he is. I was like, excuse me? He usually pops up a little bit earlier.
Sir, you there? Hello? Wake up.
This is your cue, sir.
It is your time to shine.
So yeah, 2 fuses will be here in this hallway, and then the other fuse will be located at another section, which is just... Oh, excuse me. Can we go through doors? Yes, we can.
Doors, hello?
Yeah, like I said, sensitivity in this game is pretty gnarly. Like, I have my sensitivity set pretty low, and of course the DPI on my mouse low as well, but yeah, you gotta turn it way, way down.
Sir, please, sir, move out of the way.
We're busy here, sir. Excuse me.
I got places to be. Please step aside.
So yeah, we activated the laundry chute, but of course you can't get the key. So, oh, ow. Can't get the key.
Why would you ever be able to get the key? We just went through that entire fetch quest. No key for you.
Yeah, this game's a little notorious where you think, well, you go through so many different areas and so many different things that you're just like, oh, you know, I have to be done soon, right? But not the case. Not the case sometimes. I feel like Alien Isolation suffers from that same thing too, where you've done so many things and so many events that you're like, okay, I have to be close to the end, right? But nah. All of a sudden,
like we're close, but no.
All of a sudden, the game's like, now you gotta do this, and now you gotta do that.
Classic video games. Never letting me finish early. They just want to keep me going for as long as they want me to.
Oh, oops. This way. There we go.
Follow the blood.
Of course.
Oh, hi, sir. Oh, he really likes that wall.
Alrighty. Okay, so scripted floor break. No big deal. And then right up here. Good. Yeah, like I said, it'd be a huge shame if we lost our camera.
You know, remember when you said we would just quit the game if we just lost our camera? It's too much. The darkness is too much.
There's just too much going on here. I'm too scared to play. Can't do it, guys. We can't do it, everyone. So the twins just appeared again, and like I said, they're a one-hit kill. But as long as you just stay to the right there, then you can avoid them just fine.
Thank goodness. Although somehow the twins have more damage power than the Doctor and Chris.
I know. Well, it's because well, it's kind of weird because yeah, they're carrying like a couple chef's knives. So maybe that's it. Oh wait. Oh wait. Oh no.
Camera no.
No.
Camera no.
All right, guys. Sorry, I'm gonna have to quit out and you know, quit the game. I'm really sorry. I can't continue forward without our camera. It's just impossible. It's just impossible. But no, just kidding. I'm gonna go get it.
Well, we do need that camera.
Yeah, I was gonna say you probably can progress forward without it, but I don't think the game will let you. So we're on yet another fetch quest to find our camera.
At least the game gives you some nicely well-lit areas to walk through.
Conveniently lit areas.
How kind!
And of course a jump scare. We already feel helpless without our camera, and they gotta throw in a jump scare.
Of course they do. Why wouldn't there? It's Outlast. They love their jump scares.
Alrighty, so camera found. Hooray! Day is saved. But there's actually some people. As soon as you hear that music, that means people are about to go pursue you. So now we gotta outrun them.
Mm-hmm. I like the one guy's just like looking out the window. This window's nice.
Like we said, we got neutral NPCs, and then we got aggressive ones, and then yeah, just we got a nice little mix of people here. Alrighty, run is saved. We have our camera. So now the game wants us to go find Father Martin, and we know kind of exactly where he's at. I guess that was not the bed to jump over. That was weird.
Pesky bed got me again!
Yeah, earlier when I was practicing and we were outside avoiding Chris Walker, it apparently wouldn't let me go through unless I like was on a specific pallet. So sometimes the game can be weird like that, where you need to be right on specific items and stuff.
Wow, that was a convenient floor.
Oh yeah, it breaks. if you're playing this blind and you run into that room and are on that floor, you're gonna fall and you're gonna die.
Not again!
And when you're speedrunning this game, you can actually time that jump to where, as the floor is breaking, you can jump and get across just fine. But given our luck earlier with just a normal jump without the floor breaking, I decided to take it a little safe there.
No, safety first. It's a marathon.
Absolutely. Actually, so we're about to be here towards like the beginning of the game. This is not too far from where we were when we first started, when we saw our first jump scare. But now we're gonna try and progress up further. But before we do that, we need to find yet another key.
More fetch quests!
Why don't they just have one key for everything?
Because that would be too easy.
You know how in Resident Evil you can use like one key for like 6 different doors and stuff? Like,
yeah.
They have to have a different key for every single door here. How convenient.
I know, right? Just having one key for everything would just be absolutely easy, and well, the game can't have that.
Or like in Dark Souls, how you have like a master key. Which apparently, I guess if you play that game for the first time, that may be a risky thing to have at the beginning. Because then you're just kind of opening up every door and going everywhere, and maybe you end up in areas that you're not supposed to be in yet.
I mean, this game is already broken enough. You end up in places you're not supposed to be in the first place anyways.
That's true.
And that's why they decided to cut that out for Outlast 2. Hey, thanks, Red Barrels.
Ooh. Oh, I guess I'm not allowed in there. Okay, turning around.
I see how it is. I didn't want to come to your party anyways.
Man, so unkind. I brought a cake too. I brought Doritos. I brought cake. I brought pizza. Come on.
Why don't you just let me in?
No, so we're actually in like this recreation auditorium area, and you can actually sit and watch that whole video there if you want. It will explain a little bit more about like the Wall Rider and like other certain characters in this game and stuff, and just kind of history of this whole place. But we don't have time for that because we need this key. And you can drop from ledges, which is nice. So we kind of just hung there and dropped down.
Who needs stairs when you can just fall?
But someone's about to come on through here. Another one of those twins. Goodbye, sir.
Just a friendly man with a butcher knife. It's fine.
That's normal. This whole game's normal.
This is fine. Blood on the
Flames
walls.
everywhere.
This is fine.
Alright, so now we have to go find Father Martin. He's going to be kind of lingering in a chapel. And before we do that, we kind of have to traverse through some like dormitory type areas. So we're going to see a lot of residents just kind of lurking around and praying and all that stuff, but we'll just leave them alone.
They're just, they're off in their own world.
We're just going to let them do their thing.
I like that take in chat. He just wants to meet. Like the brothers.
They all just want to meet.
They want to meet. Alrighty. So we're getting close. We're getting close to this part. I'd say, yeah, maybe we have about. We're getting closer to the end of the game, but not yet. It's still a while for time. We got a little bit left, but this is probably one of the. It's like the second to the last.
Hey, we finally get to be part of the cult.
Hey.
Am I ready? You are. We will join the
Yeah, this is a cutscene that takes a little bit of time.
Just get to hang out with the cult members, have a little bit of a seance.
And we conveniently cannot get closer. We're not allowed. Stupid game physics.
I like how, down in the basement you can turn sideways and sidle through small gaps, but a small table? No. Clearly.
Yeah. we can't vault over the pews. We can't do any of that stuff. So, I guess Father Martin is sacrificing himself. Everyone's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out, yeah.
Just hanging around. And the twins are kind of here guarding the door. Thankfully, they will not kill us. So, yeah, once he sets on fire, then we know that we can leave. Sensitivity, thank you.
Whee!
All right, there we go. Now our next objective is to go to the elevator, since now we can finally get a way out of here. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. The music's kind of haunting too.
I like a good portion of the music in this game.
Same here.
Chase music.
Yeah, before we can leave, we get encountered by Chris yet again.
Yet again.
He just wants to meet us, everyone. He heard about the party going on, so
he
likes
left
pizza.
out.
Yeah, he likes pizza too, just like all of us do.
Poor Chris, just feeling like he's left out all the time. Just try to be a part of the party.
Alrighty, we got the key. We can finally leave. Oh man, I'm so excited. But for some reason, I guess the elevator doesn't want us to leave. That was our floor. Excuse me? Excuse me?
But I want to go home!
Can I press buttons? Excuse me? Well, the facility does not want us to leave.
This is fine. I guess I live here now.
I guess we gotta get used to it.
You know, I always liked elevators. You know, they're cool.
No, real talk, I actually do like those elevators with the gates like that. Like, I've never personally ridden in one, but I've loved seeing them in movies and video games and stuff. Like,
yeah.
I know there was a couple in the first Resident Evil game, and it has like, oh, they had them in Titanic as well. I think that's why I liked them, because I first saw them in Titanic. Oh man, I loved that movie when I was a kid.
Same. So now we're in the underground secret lair, and something is amiss.
Yeah, things are bloody. This is definitely not an area we want to be, but we have to find another way out. So we're kind of looking for a way out. Another piece of the game where you can just kind of explore and read more files and things like that. It says there's an exit there, so let's go on.
We'll just go.
But as soon as that happens, we actually have to turn around and leave because the wall rider spawns. And he will kill you. I can't remember in how many hits that he kills you. I think you can safely take one hit and then you die on the second hit, but I could be wrong just because it's been quite a while. So, but he's definitely an enemy you want to avoid.
Yeah.
Speaking
hello,
of enemies
Chris.
to avoid. Oh man, we spent so much time getting away from him. But oh wait, oh, someone's got our back.
I mean, he did want to be a part of the party.
That's true. There was only one invitation left, though. I think the wall rider wants it.
Oh.
Okay. It is safe to say that we do not have to worry about Chris Walker anymore.
Oh, I was just trying to get to like him.
Maybe. If he just wanted to be friends and hang out, I would have been fine, but he was just chasing us and wanting to beat us up, so no thanks. But it's okay.
That's quite the painting.
Yeah, it is.
A crow just having a good time.
So, this is another kind of lengthy cutscene. This is, I believe, I couldn't remember if he was a doctor or what, but he was kind of large and in charge here at the Murkoff Corporation, kind of doing human experiments and whatnot, and he created the wall rider. So he's just kind of talking to us and telling us what's going on. And eventually what he's going to tell us to do is to disable the life support of Billy, who I guess he's like the one who's hosting the wall rider, and the reason that the wall rider's kind of gone insane. So yeah, kind of a very, very creepy story.
We're getting some lore.
He kind of reminds me of Professor Xavier.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit.
It's because he's bald in a wheelchair.
If only Patrick Stewart voiced this, that would be so wonderful.
Oh, that'd be amazing.
I feel like Patrick Stewart adding voices to most games would just improve them.
Honestly, you're not wrong.
I didn't even know until recently that he did a voice in American Dad, because I never watched that show.
Yeah.
But oh yeah, he plays a character in there. I'm like, What? I would love to hear his voice anywhere.
It's just like certain voices just make everything so much better.
Like Morgan Freeman.
Yep. I would love that man to narrate my life.
Samuel L. Jackson. James Earl Jones. Want all of them to narrate.
Just get them all in one video game. It'd be great.
Heck yeah. Alrighty, so now we have to go disable Billy's life pod, and you saw the wall rider kind of lingering around. I don't believe it kills you right there, but there are a few encounters that it will try to kill you, and you kind of have to outrun, so... but it's okay. It's all good.
Y'all good? We're just taking a nice stroll through this underground lab, no big deal.
Crazy underground lab. Jeez.
Experiment gone horribly wrong.
Can't have a horror game without a underground lab, which...
I mean, Resident Evil was a good, a good one to start with.
Alright, so first thing we're going to do, we're going to disable the water first. So, like we said, Miles has that endless stamina, and oof. It's insane because anytime I go up, like, I can go up a few flights of stairs just fine, but there's gonna be one moment here that we're gonna go... Oh, I guess we don't go. I was gonna say, you can vault over one of these railings. I think it's the one coming up here. Yeah, this one right here. There we go.
There we go. We got it. We got it.
Yeah, the wall rider's in our vicinity. That's why we hear that creepy music.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but now we have to disable the actual, like, electrical component of his life pod, so that's gonna be over here. And there's Billy hanging out in there.
He's having a good time.
He's hanging out.
Yeah.
He's maxing and relaxing. But, yeah, we're gonna be going up, like, multiple flights of stairs up here, and I'm just like, dude, Miles, how?
Want to buy endless stamina, please?
So in like OG Final Fantasy VII remake, OG Final Fantasy VII, you can just go up the stairs no problem. But then in the remake, they made it like accurate to where like everyone's running out of breath.
See, that would be even like for me, it'd be after like 10 seconds. I'm like, hold on, give me a second.
Yeah. For me, it's like I can go up like 3 flights just okay, but like, geez, Miles goes up so many here. Want to buy that stamina, please? How many souls do we need to upgrade that stamina?
That would be about 5 souls, thank you.
Alrighty, so here's that electrical component. And what's interesting is like, okay, he unplugs them all. Okay, good. Like, if I were him, it's like, okay, which ones do you unplug?
Just all of them. I don't care. Just all of them.
Maybe he has a secret electrical degree of some sorts. Alrighty.
The man's a marathon runner, an electrician, and a journalist. Man of many trades.
So this part here, we don't have to jump across again. You can just kind of fall into this interaction because the wall rider knows what's going on. He knows that we're trying to disable his life support, so he is not happy with us at the moment.
Hey, he didn't kill us though, so that's cool. He didn't take us into a vent.
That's true. At least he didn't take us into a vent. I'm very thankful for that. Alright. So, here we are. Uh-oh. Not happy about that. Warning!
Sorry, we gotta document this really quick.
I need video proof or else no one will believe me. But yeah, now we're getting... Wall Rider's not happy. We are getting viciously attacked. And, this may or may not mean something else too.
Whee!
I feel like I'm on one of those 4D rides. We need our chairs moving and stuff too. All of our chairs need to be moving at the same motion.
I loved those movie theaters with like the moving chairs and everything. Those are great.
Or like the water spraying at you and like the chairs like buzzing and stuff. Like, yeah, that was an experience. Loved it.
There was one at a theme park near us where they had bubbles that would appear in the theater to go with a scene in the movie. And it was
Ooh.
so that you'd have the bubbles flying around on the screen, and then one of them would pop on you. You'd be like, ah.
That's pretty funny. Alrighty.
We're fine.
We may or may not be possessed by the Wall Rider now. We may not. We may or may not be possessed by a supernatural entity at the moment.
That was on
think
my
we're
bucket
okay.
list.
Think we're okay.
I think
maybe.
so. Oh, this, you know, it's from all the blood loss. It's fine. It's finally getting to him.
Yes, and getting thrown from stories high and everything like that.
It's good time.
It's really impressive that, you know, it's been running this much after suffering, I don't know, how much blood loss? You'd think there'd be some major anemia going on.
You'd
Probably.
think, right?
Yeah, he's a superhuman, you know. But yeah, we're on our way out. We're about to get on time. Right now. This is time. Sorry, I should have gave more of a forewarning.
Yeah, I was like, I was getting ready, and you're like, now. Oh.
My bad. Yeah, it's as soon as he falls across those double lines is time. My bad. But yeah, that is it. But something happens.
Oh, it wasn't me, I swear. Oh, damn it.
No. After all we've been through.
I just wanted to go home and take a bath.
Oh no.
But that's a GG in the chat.
And yeah, that is it. I actually, since Live Split wasn't running, I wasn't sure what the time was.
I stopped it a little bit late, so it was a 57:30 something.
Oh, nice, awesome. Good stuff. Good stuff. Sub hour.
There you go.
Yay.
But yeah, that. Thanks everyone for chilling. Thank you. Oh goodness, yeah. Just that is Outlast. Hopefully my game won't crash this time when I skip. Okay, it didn't. Good.
Yay!
Hey!
It crashed earlier when I hit escape to skip the credits. But yeah, whew, that was a wild ride. What do you think, Kat?
I had a blast of a time. That was great. Thank you for having me be here to commentate with you for that amazing run. Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, thank you GDQ for having me. You know, Outlast is not my main speed game, but it's one that I still very much enjoy and, you know, want to get my time down on that. And of course, no deaths and all that. They do happen.
You'll get it next time, I promise.
Yeah, I do like to run some horror games and a variety of other things and stuff. But yeah, thank you for Railcoon for reaching out and allowing me to run this for this fun event.
Yeah, no
And
problem.
yeah,
Thanks for being on.
Of course, and thank you, Kat, of course, for the lovely, awesome commentary.
So if
No problem.
if people wanted to get into Outlast speedruns, is there a place in particular they should go?
Yeah, so if you go to speedrun.com and click on their Discord, they do have a community there. So you know you can join their Discord if you'd like, or you know, a lot of the streamers also, like, you know, they stream the game, and you know, you can ask questions and they'll be glad to help you. Like one of the people that I used to ask about the speedruns of this game, he actually runs RE7 as well. His name is Horror Does Speedruns. So I know he hasn't streamed this in a while, but you know, he was one that I asked a lot. So yeah, just go to the Discord, and you know, I think that's the main place you can do it. And you know, watch the videos so you can get the sense of the pathing and all that stuff. And you know, I'm always available too if you guys had any questions. So
Yeah,
we're all playing and learning together.
It's a pretty easy speedrun to get into if you're new to speedrunning and you don't want to worry about inventory management and such. So yeah, if you're looking for a new horror game to run, this one's definitely a good one to put on your list.
Yeah, it's a nice fun one. You can learn it in literally a week, and you'll probably have a lot of fun with it, like we do.
Yeah.
Well,
heck yeah, so.
Thanks a bunch for being on and showing us this game. Coming up next, we're going to have Haunting Ground by Ecdysis, which, surprisingly for Ek, is actually a pretty good game.
Yeah, it is a good game.
Yeah.
He runs a lot of horror games that aren't necessarily high quality, I would say.
Hey, Haunting Grounds is high quality. It's a fantastic game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hunting Ground is a good game for Ecdysis' standards. So stick around. It'll be a lot of fun. We're going to go to a quick break, and play a few ads. Of course, if you're subbed, you won't see those, and our subs for this month, as well as bits, are going to go towards the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. It's a really good cause if you have Twitch Prime sitting around. But we'll be back in just a few minutes with Hunting Ground with Ecdysis. We'll see you all in a few minutes.
So this is essentially, people were talking about earlier actually at the giant pair of scissors, but this is a Clock Tower spin-off. It's actually one of the good Clock Tower games. I love the series, but honestly, there are not a lot of good ones. This is one of the best games ever made in terms of horror, and it's also really rare because it costs a lot of money nowadays. Like, copies of this game go for, like, I don't know, I think over $100 now because of just game prices rising up. It's weird. Like, a lot of games have gotten really expensive lately.
Really? That's interesting. Also, I'm
Yeah.
silly, and I was muted for that intro, so just quick reminder, this is Ecdysis. He's here to run Hunting Ground for us. And besides telling us this is a higher quality game than he normally runs, actually a good game, said he has some fun surprises for us, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, should be good. As well, we're doing New Game Plus because overall it's just a much safer route. Like, we can do New Game, it's not too different, not too hard, but New Game Plus, you don't have to worry about certain things like stamina, and I don't have to worry about a run dying because of, well, let's just say bad RNG.
Yeah.
Okay.
Is there anything that we should know before we get started here?
There's a cute dog, and I hate him, but a lot of you might like him.
Okay.
Okay, anyway, we can begin once I hit New Game. Ready?
Yes.
Alright, 3, 2, 1, let's go. So, this game is Haunting Ground. It is, like I mentioned, a Clock Tower spin-off game where you're playing as a young girl who has been just kind of mysteriously woken up in a dungeon. So you get out, and now you find out you're now the owner of this giant Italian castle. Everyone here wants you for something called Azoth, which honestly just means that they're going to kill you to get it, so you want to avoid them. And while we're going, we're going to have to solve some puzzles and play with the dog to make sure we can find a way through. In total, there's going to be 4 bosses, and like I mentioned, we're doing New Game Plus. That being said, like I mentioned, we get a few surprises, meaning we actually get one of our favorite parts. Some of you may be wondering so far, why is everything in Japanese? It's faster to play on the PSN Japanese version of this game because all the loads are much quicker on a PS3 than on the original PS2. I own this game, but it just doesn't load as fast on the PS2. Also, I don't normally get to do this because when you grind for world record, it's not optimal, but Fiona actually has... hold on, I think it's this one? I hope it's this one. She has costumes. Alright, yeah, it's this one. We're gonna be a frog. We're just gonna be an adorable frog running through here. It kind of makes the game a lot sillier having a frog run around the area. There is a lot of different costumes you can wear. They have different effects. The frog mainly is pretty adorable, and it allows you to jump backwards infinitely. And it's not going to be that helpful, but it's fun to look at, and it's kind of funny. Anyway, I walked here because we need enough stamina for an upcoming fight. We're going to introduce to the first stalker of the game, whose name is Debilitus. He's baby, but unfortunately he's not our friend right now, so we're going to have to take him out. We're going to do this by ramming into him 4 times. This will do enough damage so that he'll run away. There's 2 ways to escape stalkers. 1, you hide. 2, you knock them out. By doing that, we're now good to go, and we can go over to the plate room. We're going to type all the puzzles of the game. It's actually pretty fun to watch the way we type these because it's just really fast. We have to do a lot of typing because there's a lot of these plates you have to find in the game, and then by having them, you're like, oh, hey, that's the answer to the puzzle, and then you have to deposit it in, which normally requires you to look at things. However, it's going to be much faster for me to just go like, okay, I make them all now, so I don't have to do them later. The routing is a bit different when you're going for world record, where you won't be making this one called Morgan. This gives us the fairy earrings that'll make us invisible. Let me just make the rest of these. And like I mentioned, I do have a surprise, which actually we'll be doing at the end of this section right here. It's actually a PSA. But let me do this.
A PSA, you say?
Yeah. I remember back in the 90s, there was a lot of like the war on drugs and such, where they did a lot of those PSAs on that. You remember those, right?
Yeah.
Hold on. I think this is the only one left. Oh, Saltatio. Does anyone here speak Latin, is the question. Alright. We have this. You can type in the Latin words and they'll kind of give you bonuses. Let me just double check. Okay, we're looking really good. It's very specific on the way you have to do those. There we go. Okay. So I'm gonna tell you all a fun story here. We're gonna have a night of wild partying. This golem here truly likes to party. So when you give him Saltatio, he dances.
Oh my god.
This is your brain. This is your brain on meth.
It's literally labeled meth. What?
So we put meth inside of him, now he's dead. He can pass through now. After a wild night of partying, he got into meth and he is no longer alive. And that lets us pass the first puzzle. The reason why is because a lot of these words are based on Latin, so in Latin, e-meth is life, while meth is death. So it's just kind of funny looking in and saying that you're shoving a plate that says meth into a golem, and then he just disintegrates. The moral of Haunting Ground is just don't do meth, in all honesty. At least that's what I think. As well, the one problem I do have with this game that we're actually removed with the frog costume is Fiona usually has a lot of jiggle physics, which are very apparent for some reason. We're not going to see those, though, because, well, we're wearing a frog outfit. I just love the close-up of the frog head and all that.
It's a good
that
outfit.
That also really fun, because, well, there's a guy in the game who has a weird plot. So the way he's trying to hit on you is by showing you a pregnant statue of yourself.
What?
Yeah, this game gets kind of weird at times. But he's an interesting character who will be fun to deal with later. His name is Ricardo. Usually whenever we have him, we do like Ricardo flicks, because he reminds me of the one dancing Ricardo. But yeah, he's pretty crazy. I mentioned earlier this game has a dog. You get to the dog after you kind of like do the intro, you look around a little bit, and then you get teleported back to your main room after this section. The game really starts when you get Huey, I should mention, who is going to be our adorable dog friend. Which should be after these cutscenes.
Yeah, someone in chat was asking if we're going to pet the dog, and don't you
worry.
worry.
Oh yeah.
There's going to be petting of the dog.
Section dedicated to that, in fact. Huey actually is going to have some interesting properties. I'll mention those more in just in a moment when we get to them. Because right now we need to actually free Huey. We hear a dog outside is kind of like being tortured and such, because that's not very good. We're going to free him. Also, some of you who are horror fans may notice Huey looks like a lot like the dog in RE4. This game actually shares a lot of assets with games like Devil May Cry and RE4, which is why the castle may also seem familiar. This is made by Capcom and has a lot of similar properties as well. Here we go. Okay, so now we're going to be getting to the first, like, mini tutorial section of Huey. We're going to get inside, Debilitus is going to be back, and we're going to send Huey to bite him. He's our friend, after all. And now that Debilitus is gone, we can begin the game. So, there's a bit of RNG, like I mentioned. We're going to be hoping that we can do some RNG manipulation on this, because as we've developed the game, routing has made it so that Huey can now be kind of manipulated. Huey in the early game isn't as responsive. You kind of have to like train him. The game's assuming the more you play it, you'll be training Huey. However, we're speedrunning this, so it's going to be a bit harder to train a full dog within an hour and have him listen. So I'm going to call out for Huey at certain points, and I'm going to make sure that he's barking. Whenever he barks, that means he's registering whatever command I gave him.
Go, Huey.
This is one of the only horror games that requires you to train a dog, and for the longest time, runners of this game absolutely hated training Huey because he has a mind of his own half the time. However, we've recently been able to make better friends with Huey. Well, let me do that. which will allow us to kind of get a more consistent route. But it all really does depend on how good he is, which is why my estimate's a lot higher than I thought it would be. Sometimes Huey does this where he just doesn't listen. Huey, where are you at, buddy? There he is. Luckily, though, we've accounted for this estimate.
It's important to note that Huey's trying.
He is trying his best. Actually, there he is. Actually, he is not. Huey, stop it.
Huey, what are you doing?
Get back here.
Huey.
This is some of the... Where did he... There he is, okay. Alright, whenever he barks, he registers the command. We're getting really bad Huey RNG early game. Alright. It's also known that you can overload his commands as well, which is also bad. But every time he barks, he will register it. So we want to kind of keep him close to these doors. And then we can get some cool Huey action in a moment here. Which is why you'll kind of see me waiting and telling him no early. Telling him no will kind of just wipe whatever command is on Huey's list. So every time you say Huey, he'll like, hey, I'm going to follow you. And then if you tell him no, you'll see like, okay, all those commands are now gone. I'll do whatever the new command is. Which is why you'll kind of see me say no and then call him. Alright. So we can actually send Huey all the way from over here. And Huey is just going to make a giant leap of faith. There we go.
Good Huey.
We actually need to do that because, well, dogs can't climb ladders. And we need to go down the ladder so Huey can help us with this. There's a lot of puzzles in the game that are entirely based on what Huey is doing. So, like, there's going to be a grate in the next room. I'm going to have Huey wait here, and then while I do the puzzle, I need to go through while Huey is still there. If you actually watch this cutscene, Huey will step off the plate, but if you skip it, you can stay on, which is much better. We're going to be doing a pretty big skip right now, which can potentially skip an entire Debilitus section. He's going to come back in a moment, but we're going to take a very bold move. This is found by a Japanese runner by the name of Gurahamu. And it's going to allow us to immediately possibly escape Debilitus. Let's see how it goes. We did not get it. Luckily, there's a good backup.
You just hide in the corner?
Yeah, you can hide in the corner and he'll run past you. Alternatively, we hide behind this door. Also, she does a little frog squat. So this is the backup strat. You can just lead him there, walk here, and then run. So the goal right now, so we can get more stamina for later, we need to get as far away from Debilitus as possible. By doing that, I'll get him away earlier. We need to get him gone before a certain hole, because throughout the game, there's going to be different holes that are going to allow me to make extra resources or even change costumes. There's actually different Huey costumes too, but they're not really worth getting, if that makes sense.
None of them are as fantastic as the frog?
Well, actually, there is one, but getting it, you have to beat the game on hard mode, I think with a dog ending rank of A.
Okay.
Which I'm not going to do because it's not worth it. But you could turn Huey into a stuffed animal.
Aww.
So if you're wondering how I know Debilitus is gone, it's because the music has stopped. When the music's playing, you're getting chased. Someone's going to be after you. But if the music is not playing, well, you're safe and you can enter places like this. This is important because I'm going to be making 3 plates. Powder, Adamus, and Morgan. Respectively, these are going to give me the Diamond Choker, the Blast Shoes, and the Fairy Earrings. These are going to make the game so I don't have to worry at all about stamina management. Stamina management in this game is not very fun, honestly. There we go. So this way, we're going to be a lot better off. As well, Morgan will make me invisible, so just in case we get caught by an enemy with bad RNG, we can just go like, no, we're safe. It also really helps during the Ricardo sections later, because Ricardo is a lot of fun, let's just put it that way. Also, we get a short skip by falling off the edge. And that'll allow us to get down here faster. Debilitus chases us, but it's not actually going to matter because we can just walk through this archway and he'll be gone. As well, going more into this, we're going to be getting another Debilitus section. You kind of see the pattern here of a lot of, you get rid of Debilitus, you get Debilitus. It's a lot of kind of balancing based on the events and quickly getting rid of whatever stalkers after you. We usually kind of manipulate the stalkers so they go on their base time and then they only come when we need them to come. So, for instance, if you normally get rid of Debilitus, like, let's say I chased him off earlier, he's going to be gone for about 7 minutes or so. We're going to be getting rid of Debilitus once again. But with that, we're going to be getting rid of him for about 7 minutes or so. Although he does spawn back once you kick that, which actually is going to allow me to get to the boss fight later on. Right now, I'm hoping Huey's going to cooperate, because if he doesn't, this is going to get really bad. This game has a lot of, does Huey cooperate, as you can see. And the answer is usually a big resounding no, he does not. There we go. But what I want to do is hope Debilitus 1 follows me all the way to the end here. I actually do need him to stay with me. If I lose him early, that's actually bad, so I'm going to break this to make some noise, which hopefully he should follow me. I'll actually know he's following me more if I feel my controller vibrate. I'll just be a giant that. I'll say my dolly, and then your controller will vibrate knowing you're good. And now we need to hope Huey enters the room. That's all we can say. Which he should be in the room. So you get to hear Fiona say Huey quite a lot. He normally enters the top here. I don't see Huey. Huey. There he is. Huey took a while. That's not good. Okay, but now he's in the room. We can get rid of Debilitus because Huey actually knocks him off this edge. This part of the game, we're going to be using Huey to do quite a lot, actually. And then after this, we get a Huey break. The Huey break sections are breaths of fresh air because I don't have to worry about Huey's mistakes. It's just my own that I have to worry about, which is much, much better. I'm going to be waiting for Huey right out here. You usually call for him, and then we kind of have to just wait and see if there he is. Sometimes doors can just be open or closed. It just seems to be RNG, and there's no rhyme or reason to it. If they are closed, you normally have to open certain ones. And as well, I'm going to be waiting in between each section here just to make sure Huey follows. We want to make sure he's up there. This is why we wait. There he is. Come on, boy.
Huey.
And I think we need one more and we should be good.
Huey.
So in total, this game has 4 endings, and the games do have different routing for all this. And I mentioned earlier something about Huey manipulation. This is going to be the first instance of it, where we stand on certain spots, and that's going to allow Huey to do the action instead of immediately calling him. For those of you who may have played this casually, you might remember if you just keep saying Huey do this and he never does it. A lot of the actions are based on where you're standing. So for example, if you call Huey and you don't run back to that, he won't actually follow you. He'll just kind of stay in the flowers because he likes them and they smell great. But if you actually call him by running to the gate, he'll hear you and then he'll actually follow you. The training system on Huey is actually extremely complex, and I don't know why. I mean, I guess having a very straightforward dog wouldn't be good, but it is interesting to kind of see how Huey works. Which is even better because in the late game, Huey is not going to be a problem whatsoever. He's almost never an issue because, well, he's fully trained at that point, and his loyalty meter goes way, way up as the game progresses. It's really just the Debilitus sections where the game is really just, is Huey going to cooperate or not? There's also some endgame spots where Huey can kind of be mean, but it's nothing overtly bad that's run killing. Alright, but once we're done with this, we're going to be all done with Huey until Daniela. So who'll be the next boss.
What was the going invisible there for? Was that to try and encourage Huey to actually do what you're telling him to do?
Actually, that's just me standing still. The Morrigan, the fairy earrings, if you stand still for long enough, Fiona will go invisible. Oh. And this is going to be the backup tool that's going to help us a lot if we accidentally get caught. Some of the enemies in this game are very brutal, and for instance, one of them later has a gun, and if they shoot you, you instantly die.
Goodness.
Yeah, the end game is... Actually, it's not even the end game. The late mid-game is insanely difficult. On New Game, it's just kind of risky on one section because you have to lure him into a room and then get rid of him, which we'll be getting to later. But normally you don't get Morgan, but having it's going to kind of just allow us to entirely bypass that. So instead of having to worry about potentially getting shot and instantly dying, you can just go all right, we're good to go. But now that we got rid of Huey, we can actually do the major puzzle for this section, which is going to be 2 things. There's going to be a block room, which is just pushing a lot of blocks, and then there is going to be a lunar reflector puzzle where you have to reflect the moon onto a door, which is an odd thing. But it just it's a really easy puzzle because they just make sounds when they're officially tinging. All right, here we go. 1, 2, 3, and we're in. Right now as well, it's been roughly the amount of time, so Debilitus is actually going to come back in one room. So once I grab the next item, Debilitus will immediately spawn. If he doesn't, that can happen, but he'll be kind of lingering in the area. Spawns in this game are really weird that once you defeat an enemy, they'll be on a certain timer, so Debilitus is 7 minutes. And then after that is done, they'll start making their way to your position, and you can kind of hide them, but eventually they'll find you. Alright, so we didn't get Debilitus, actually. Never mind, we did. I hear it now. But he's far away, so you don't have to worry. There's 2 routes you can take. You can go down the ladders, or you can go this way. This way is surprisingly faster, even though it doesn't seem like it is, because while you're running more, you don't have to go down 2 ladders. It's kind of weird that this section saves more time, because you wouldn't think going all the way back around the first loop is going to be faster than just going back the way you came. But the way we came is actually a lot longer than the first loop for some reason. It's about 14 seconds faster, which is kind of weird, because simple rerouting can do quite a lot. Also, Adamus is helping a lot with the stamina, like I mentioned.
Yeah, and 14 seconds is a pretty significant difference.
Yeah, especially given that one of the categories in this game is called C Ending, where you're able to defeat the game after the Debilitus boss fight. He's the first boss of the game, and once you beat him, you can actually beat the game straight up. It's faster, but it's not like the major ending. It's kind of a joke ending, which you can have, and it allows you to just escape the castle after the first boss because you were a good person. Speaking of being a good person, by the way, this game does have some decision making. So, like I mentioned, we're doing A ending. There's B ending, C ending, and D ending. For all the endings, A ending means you were the best person you can be, which means that during the boss fight, we spare Debilitus. B ending means you kill Debilitus, which we're not going to kill him. We're good people. C ending, you just leave the castle early. And then the last ending is D ending, which is you treat Huey like trash. And by doing that, you get the worst ending of the game.
Oh.
It serves more as a deterrent. So, like, if you're punishing Huey throughout the entire game, you just get punished, which is kind of right. I don't think you should be mean to Huey. I mean, I don't like Huey as an AI, but I think he's a fine dog. Casually, I think he's great. But you have to really be mean to Huey to get that ending. Like, I mean, severely. Like, at that point, you're kicking Huey every moment you get. You ditch him in the forest. You're feeding him onions. Which I learned dogs can eat onions. That is a thing. Don't feed your dog onions. They will not be good.
Yeah.
I always know about chocolate, but I never knew about onions.
Even if that wasn't, like, bad for them, I assume it would be unpleasant.
Well, yeah, like, I never thought, like, at any moment my dog would like onions, but it never occurred to me that it's actually poisonous to dogs. I only learned that from this game, weirdly enough. Yeah, D ending, though, ends prematurely. You end up losing in the forest instead of the very end game. As well, the block puzzle is pretty straightforward. You just kind of like match it. I took a certain route, so we're able to entirely bypass everything, which will be the most efficient path. And you just go like straight down first. You might move something in the wrong spot, and then you have to exit the room and re-enter the room, which will require you to do all this over again. So doing this correctly is very imperative to the route. For the longest time, I didn't actually know that this one's like after the, I guess, silver or gray one. I actually don't know what color that is. I think it's gray. I've always called it gray or silver. But doing this one afterward is just kind of more straightforward. But now we're going to get to another RNG section. But I actually really like this section because it can be slightly manipulated. Also, I'm going to make a safety save just in case. I'll do it before every boss, just to be sure. You should have a good estimate for it, though. And we're also going to be hitting one of the trickier puzzles. Casually, this game is an absolute death trap. It is one of those games where if you make one wrong move, it equals you die. Which is really weird because back in like the mid-2000s, games were obscenely cruel about this thing. There we go. Like, for instance, if you end up doing a mistake, you might just get punished with maybe a chase or something. But in this game, if you make a mistake, you just straight up die. And the mistake that you might make on this one is going to be in this next room. Also, let's make the save, just in case. Oh, thank you. There we go. Having this save is going to be nice. It's unlikely we'll actually die, but there are rare RNG occurrences where Huey won't help us and Debilitus will be hyper-aggressive. And the boss fight could get rough. This room is awkward because a lot of people run straight forward and immediately fall into the black hole of death, which if you run straight forward, you die. That is very much the case. You have to make a loop around. If you're wondering how you do it, you have to send Huey first and he'll see it. He'll just kind of walk through the puzzle normally, and then you need to follow him. Like, if you just bolt forward, it's an instant death. If you didn't save, well, there goes probably, like, 3 hours of progress that you made. But they did give you a hint they should probably save the game there. Alright. So now it is time for the Debilitus boss fight. Like I mentioned, there's 2 ways of getting rid of him. One, I'm going to tell Huey to sit. By telling Huey to sit, he's not going to interrupt the fight, and I want Debilitus to do that, actually. That's really good. By hiding here, he's going to ram into this thing, and I want him to break both sides of the chandelier. Alright, really good RNG. He instantly broke it. By doing that, Debilitus is just going to have a chandelier drop on him, which is going to stun him. And that is going to allow Debilitus to flee, and, well, he's alive, and he is no longer chasing us. That's the first boss of the game, and it was really quick. The boss fight doesn't normally go that quick unless you get exceptionally good RNG. Sometimes Debilitus will just, like, yell at you, he'll try bear hugging you. There's a lot wrong that can happen. And the estimated time is a 110, just because 110 keeps us nice and safe in case Huey wants to be mean. Huey isn't always the nicest, unfortunately. Which, it does happen, but we'll be alright. But now we're going to be hitting the second boss of the game. Each boss has their own section which they'll chase you, and they get overall more cruel and a lot more cunning than Debilitus.
I like how Chad was confused that was a boss fight.
Oh, yeah. Like, it was kind of crazy how quickly we beat it. Normally, it takes a lot longer because Debilitus will kind of be hunting you down and chasing you, but he gave us perfect RNG. Perfect RNG immediately kills the boss. Bad RNG, you're going to be running around the room for a while. But that also, like, you get a faster boss fight by being a good person, like I mentioned. If you just stun Debilitus, it's quicker, which is why we do it. He lives, so you're not mean. You don't have to bully Debilitus. Overall, he's actually a good guy. He looks like a giant hulking maniac, but he's actually like a 2-year-old. Like, he just wants you because he thinks you're a toy. He doesn't actually know that you're a human being. He just sees a dolly, you look kind of like it, and he thinks, hey, new doll.
That story makes a bit more sense when you're in the frog outfit, too.
Yeah. But now we got sick, we got poisoned, we're heading to bed. And now we have the next person, Daniela, who's actually the fan favorite of the game. Everyone loves Daniela. She's also really creepy if you play this game normally. She is incredibly creepy. She's attacking us with a shard of glass that she broke from the mirror by bashing her head against it a bunch of times. She does not like mirrors. Luckily for us, I made this route earlier when I kind of did the early game puzzles here. And we're going to be able to quickly avoid Daniela here. She can catch up, but we're going to immediately be getting to the section where we automatically get rid of her. And this will kind of also teach you, hey, this is how you get rid of Daniela. I noticed a few people in chat also asking about the frog outfit. So the frog outfit does actually have buffs, and it's the best costume of all the New Game Plus costumes. For New Game Plus costumes, you have Cowgirl, you have BDSM, and you have Frog. Frog gives you just a straight upgrade on stamina buff, so you can do this infinitely. Which is really good for charging. As well, it lets you do this adorable crouch. Where she goes like a frog. Cowgirl gives you a gun, but the kick is just so good you don't want to get rid of the kick. Also, hey look, here's Daniela again. She's just kind of chilling.
Miss, it's cleaning time now.
It's not killing time, it's cleaning time. I wanted to show that off because it's just so chilling that someone who was trying to murder you 5 seconds ago is now cleaning. It's like, you know what? It's not time to kill you. It's time to clean. We'll kill you in like 5 minutes. Which actually happens right when you enter the store.
I love the
Her
kick.
cleaning is now done. And yes, the kick is insanely good. Later in the game it gets funny because Fiona actually has like feet of steel. She's going to be able to kick some insane things. Just keep this in mind.
I just love the nonchalance for the kick. The animation for it is just so good.
Oh yeah. And this game was properly done. It was kind of the Clock Tower game after Capcom learned how to make more of them. Also, Daniela's now gone. She's going crazy because she looked in the mirror. She does not like her reflection. Daniela's story is a really sad one. Like Debilitus, she says she has a creator, and her creator made her imperfect. She's missing a key element of herself, which she wants to find in you, which is your Azoth. Every single person wants your Azoth for a different reason. For people wondering what Azoth exactly is, it's supposed to be like, I'm just going to call it life juice. It's like something in your body that allows you to have like immortality that the main villain wants because he's an alchemist who's lived for like thousands of years. Also, Relkun. You like petting Huey, right?
Yeah.
We might not be able to pet him straight up, but we do get the March of the Good Boys.
Good boy.
So I have to wait for this blue thing to follow me. Don't hit me. Thank you. And every time I have time to kind of wait, I'm going to call Huey and just tell him good boy.
Yeah. He was
I
a
know
good
I
boy.
was saying some bad things earlier about Huey, but this is the March of the Good Boys. Huey, move! Huey, move! No! Okay, hold on. We good? We good? Okay, we're good. I was actually really worried about that. But yeah, the Azoth plays a big role in this game, and everyone wants it for different reasons. Which we'll kind of get to more and more later. It does get kind of... well, it is a horror game, so I'll just say horrific. But I won't go too into it for some of them, because one of the characters is really... it's really convoluted and creepy, I'll just put it that way. And this is the PSN version of the game. It is a PS2 pretty much download that is available on Japanese Japanese PSN accounts, which I managed to get access to, and I was able to get the game, which is, as long as you have a Japanese PSN account, it's really easy to obtain.
Which makes it
right now,
far cheaper than trying to get the disc version, because you said that was getting expensive.
Yeah, I actually own the PS2 version. I used to run it on the PS2 version as well, because I love this game and collecting things about it. I also own a strategy guide. Remember the Prima strategy guides?
Oh my god, yeah.
I have this for that, and I actually discovered things about the game from reading it. Like, it's really weird. Well, I was able to find new routing from that, just by kind of like being able to look at the game.
Come on.
Alright, so now we can go to those plates I made earlier. You remember salt, sulfur, and mercury? You finally get to use those. So you may notice, these two are pretty low, but the one up there is pretty high up. What are we going to do about that? How are we going to get it? It is a question. It's pretty far away. How are we going to get this?
Kick it.
I don't know. You're going to kick it?
That's my default answer in this game. Just kick it.
That's a bit high up, though. She can't kick it up there.
I tried. I'm sorry.
Don't worry, though. It's going to be way better than kicking. I'll tell you that much. You ever see the movie Air Bud?
Oh, no.
You don't have to show this off, but I think you'll enjoy it.
I think this is important to show off.
He just tosses it in.
Good boy.
Yep, and that makes an ice ladder. You know, the natural progression of things. Dogs jump 10 feet in the air, ice ladders spawn. It's just the system of things, and I guess Italy is where this game takes place. I'm not Italian, but if anyone can verify that for me, I'd be very happy. But now we actually get a key, and this is going to lead to a minor... We can kind of skip an entire section. I'm not going to really call it a skip, though, because technically you can always do this. It's not like a major thing we're breaking. It's more in the fact that... Also, Huey's here, that's good. Normally, you have like a differences room. So in the left room, you have the base room, and then the right room, you'll have where you input the answers. You're supposed to find out what is different between the two rooms. However, I already know the answers. So it is going to be the chessboard. It is going to be these two dudes. They're just kind of vibing in the corner, just chilling. And it's going to be this hourglass. Get one thing wrong in this room and you instantly die.
Instantly die, okay.
Yeah, like the door will lock on you and then eventually flies come in and, well, you die. Okay, I really need Huey to follow me here. This is the one section I always worry about. Alright, he's following, thank God.
Come on.
If Huey follows, we get to go. There he is. So this room used to be terrible because Huey would kind of just not do anything. But Swordfish, I actually think, was able to find out more about this room by sending Huey to the yellow one first, and then just... Oh, I almost messed that up. Calling him over, he'll just... Oh, he ruined it. Never mind.
Go, Huey.
Hold on. Hold on, Huey. Please go to the yellow one.
Go, Huey.
Alright, he's doing it. Yay, it worked! Okay, we got it. Huey almost messed that up, but we're fine. And now it's time for the best part of the game. We don't need Huey for a bit. We can now go forward. But that room can get really rough if you're not careful. Oh god, that might be bad. I just need to last one area. Oh god. See, this is why we want Morgan. So right now we're being chased. But we can go invisible, and this will prevent Daniela from finding us. We only need her gone for one room. Which happened when the music stops. Alright, we're good. That's why we use Morgan, by the way. The dog's name is Huey, which is H-E-W-I-E. Huey. So that's why Morgan is good, by the way. It entirely prevents that problem from happening where you might get hit by a luminescent, which is those blue lights. I haven't really explained what they do. The early game tells you that if you run into them, they'll increase your panic and alert anyone nearby of your presence. So they're not good to run into, but it's a bit RNG sometimes. So Daniela spawns here, which is what we intended. She actually did spawn correctly. The luminescent just kind of bodied me. But it's all good. It's nothing too bad. But with that, we're going to be able to just ditch her in the graveyard, because Daniela doesn't like graveyards for some reason, so she instantly leaves you alone. Now, the real question is, should we make the golem dance again, or should we just let him move? Because the puzzle is to let him walk through a maze, which we already made, but we can make him dance again if you all want. But here's the first puzzle. We put this plate in, and he's going to walk right, left, which is RRL. And he just does this marching. I don't know why as well, but the golem's absurdly thick. I don't know why. He's a big guy. Alright, we'll make the dancing plate for anyone who missed it. For anyone who missed it, we'll make the dancing plate.
Yay!
The cool part as well is recently I rerouted the new game route. Dancing's actually mandatory in the new game route now.
Really?
So what dancing actually does as a concept is while it's an Easter egg, it actually refreshes all of your stamina. By the time you get here in new game, you're running low on stamina and either have to use a chamomile, or you would have to just kind of walk through the maze and like just pace your running. But by making a saltatio earlier, and you don't have to make it here, you can make it right in the beginning of the game. You can actually just get all your stamina back for a cutscene that you can probably skip. For anyone who missed it, here you go. All the golems love dancing. It's just the natural pastime. I like to believe that in the Haunting Ground universe, they're just a nightclub full of dancing golems who are just apparently discoing it out. Yeah, so you get a full recovery whenever you make the golems dance. There's actually a few things in the game that will do that. Dancing is one of them. There are bathrooms, which will let you rub water on your face, and then you kind of just take a breather. It's quite nice. You don't get to the bathrooms at all through the run, because one, they're out of the way, they're just too far, and then two, they are just not going to be optimal, because a lot of the time when you are in the area for a bathroom, the stalkers are nearby, so you can't actually do anything. Right now as well, there's going to be two puzzles, one of which requires Huey, the other one... Normally you'd have to like look in some books and figure out how it works. Because earlier in the run, the stairway flooded and we have to unflood it. We don't have to save it here, we can do that later. I'm going to make a secondary save, just in case. And yeah, it's hilarious that the golem actually got routed into New Game. I've been making new game changes specifically because I've been running that category lately. Haunting Ground's actually been the most competitive it's ever been. Recently, a Japanese runner has been kind of going crazy on the game, along with me. The guy's name is Swordfish. He's a great runner, great dude. and he's been doing absolutely great. He actually got all the world records recently. Before, I had 2 of the 3. Now I'm top 2 across the board. But it is an active competition. It's quite fun, too. I haven't had a game like be this lively in a while. Anyway, this puzzle's pretty brutal, because if you step on the wrong spot 3 times, you die. The answer is this. I really can't pronounce it because we're running really fast, but we can just turn off the night. What you're supposed to do is let Huey run on the different platforms, then you'll kind of like lead the way. I guess it's dog sense. You know, the powerful dog sense. But since I already know the answer, I can just go, alright, we're good. Also, for those of you who aren't happy with the Debilitus boss fight, I promise you, Daniela is going to be an actual boss fight. Debilitus is an actual boss fight, we just got really lucky. I'm hoping the same luck extends here, but this one's not going to be so easy. You can't kill Daniela, you have to stun her and let her kill herself. So, we have to move these blocks onto the platforms, and it is RNG. There are a few factors here. 1, is Huey going to be aggressive? Is Daniela going to be aggressive? We don't want her to be. And then, well, that's mostly it. Aggression also means that she's going to strike. Her walking up to me isn't so bad. Her striking is really bad. There's going to be 2 ways Huey can attack her, or 3 ways, actually. You can either bite her, like on her hand. You can bite her from behind. Or he can ram into her. The best option is going to be biting her from behind. Oh god, don't slap me please, that's not very nice. The ram does damage. Ooh, screams are bad.
What's the scream do?
It really increases your panic, which is a bigger problem on New Game. On New Game Plus, we're pretty lucky though. Okay. Also, Huey did a lot of damage. She's already knocked out. That's really good, because when she's passed out, we can just move the boxes as we're good to go. You know, in hindsight, though, it's kind of crazy just imagining a girl in a frog suit and her dog just beating up a bunch of different people in their castle. Because, for all, like, story-wise, Daniela's just the maid. I mean, sure, she's trying to kill you, but, like, if someone were to walk in here right now and look at this, it's just a frog girl and her dog just beating up the, what? The old-school dressed maid? If she doesn't attack, oh god, she attacked. Leave me alone! Alright, we need 1 more. Oh, I'm in panic. That's fine. Why do you bonk on that? So panic will kind of do this, where you'll go crazy, and you have to make sure Huey can help you. Luckily, she's just kind of screaming to herself in the corner, so this will be fine. Or not, hold on. Thank you, Huey, that was close. Alright, now we're good. And with that, we're done. After she walks in the middle. Can you... Thank you. Okay, now we're good to go. I mean, I do the same thing whenever I wake up in the morning, in all honesty.
What, just scream?
Yeah, just wake up and, like, that sunlight touching me, just start screaming. Anyway, she gets stabbed by a giant thing of glass, which she's actually really happy about because she can finally feel things. And from that, we get a key. Yeah, it's pretty gruesome. Yeah, she's a really powerful character. Like, for anyone playing this game, I don't want to spoil anything too much, but she is a very good character, and everyone loves her for a reason. Her boss speech is really unnerving in like, the best way possible. She also has a really unsettling laugh. She'll walk it off. Oh, yeah, she'll be fine. She'll be up in a week, don't worry. It's just a giant hunk of glass. Alright, now it's time for my favorite part of the game. Normally I have people in my chat spam Ricardo Flick, but I don't think we have it at the this one, but it's pretty fun for this one. You have to deal with Ricardo. Ricardo is the hardest enemy of the game. He can either go really good or really bad. There is no in between. I probably should have saved it before leaving, but I think we'll be fine. I'm going to play it really safe. That's fine. I can't let him miss that, though. As well, I do have backup saves just in case. That actually lead me roughly to the same area we're currently at. But we do lose the frog suit if we do go to the backup save, so let's hope we don't mess this up. I'm going to need a lot of cooperation from everything here. Alright, it's Ricardo time. So, this insane man now has a gun. I need him to actually follow me, though, and stay close. There he is. Because I want him to chase me. Alright, he's coming. And now we can play this very safe. good luck is going to be I enter the room, I turn invisible, and he walks immediately to the center. I want him to get him onto the trapdoor here, which is going to just allow me to leave. There we go, perfect. That's why we grabbed Morgan. Morgan makes that section a cakewalk. That section go really fast if you don't have Morgan, which is a new game. You normally want to hide on the left and then either just have him run in or ram him in. But the problem with ramming him in is that, one, you might accidentally hit Huey, which means you don't hit him. And then after that, you'll get shot and die. But getting him on the trap hole instantly gets rid of them. Or actually want to make sure that we don't bump into anything or get hit by too many enemies. Because in this next section, if we are too slow, we get hit by too many enemies, Ricardo will respawn, and then you lose a lot of time or even potentially the run if he finds you. Ricardo is the deadliest enemy in the game. As well, you may notice I'm not kicking any doors here, I'm just opening them. This is because by creating excess noise, Ricardo will find you. A lot of the enemies in this game are actually noise-based. I've actually had a run that was on world record pace at one point. I accidentally kicked a door and then immediately killed the run. Because the moment you kick a door, Ricardo instantly finds your position, which is insane. Ricardo's plot is that he is a clone of your dad who... Are
you contemplating how to say it without spoiling too much, or what?
No, I'm trying to figure out how to say it without being too weird. Okay, I'm just gonna say how it is. He is a clone of your dad who wants you to get pregnant with him, so you can give birth to him.
That's pretty weird. Yeah. Does he have a goatee?
Yeah. Does he have a goatee?
Yeah.
He does not, but he has a cracked face. Every person in the game has a different method of getting your ass off. Daniela was just going to tear it out of you, like cut you to ribbons. Ricardo wants you to give birth to him with alchemy and science. Also, I need Huey. Where are you at, buddy? There he is. With alchemy and science. The final boss is actually pretty cool. He just wants to drink it like soup. He's just going to kill you, grind you up into like a blender, and then drink you. Standard. That's fine. Now, a lot of the game does happen in the details as well. While we're seeing things, you don't know absolutely everything. Alright, right now we're also on the shiny rocks puzzle. Also, this little baby is dead. That's what we do in this game. Fiona is just body checking babies. There's the little clones. Actually, if they run into you, they'll scream and alert Ricardo. So that's why I want to make sure that any baby we find, we just destroy it. It's also funny, too, because the evil clone is named Ricardo, but you don't know what the name of your dad, the clone, is named?
What's that?
Ugo.
Ugo?
You think they would have swapped the names, or you think the evil one would be Ugo and the bad one would be, or the good one would be Ricardo, right?
Yeah, kind of.
Oh god, Huey. Thank you. Wow, you got both of them. Good job, Huey. Alright. Yeah, kind of, right? Like, you'd think. As well, Huey destroyed both of the babies, so he'll get one good boy.
Good boy.
We'll give him the one good boy. But right now, the mission's actually to make a shiny rock. We're going to be making something called the White Godstone. There's also the Red Godstone, but that requires one more machine, and you get an item for it, which is actually really good. If you're playing this game casually, if you're speedrunning it, it's not really worth it. You can stop on the White Godstone. This game is really based in alchemy, so you kind of use the alchemy machines to make... Hold on. Okay, we're good. To make super alchemy. But we're going to be going to 3 specific ones. Yeah, super alchemy.
Better than regular alchemy.
This game has an alchemist. Yeah. He's lived for thousands of years or something, and he uses alchemy to keep him alive. As well as alchemy machines in the game that you can use to make extra items. The items range from weapons to healing, and there's a lot of things you can make. In the game as well, I forgot to mention, there's actually items for Huey too. You can find dog treats like beef jerky, chicken jerky. You can also find a ball where you can throw and play fetch. Huey has his own set of items because the game's expecting you to train him as you play. Right now, we're also going to be doing a bit of backtracking back to Daniela's section. Throughout the game, outside the last level, you can really backtrack to almost any level you want, if you know where to go. So right now, we do have to go back to Daniela's. because you may have missed it, but when we were doing the big puzzle with the 3 bars I had to spin, I only spanned 2 of them. There was actually a big alchemy machine there, and we need to go back to that. A lot of the ways that we're going for this, we want to make very certain of that Ricardo does not find us. It can happen at any moment. Hearing that music is absolutely terrifying. Also, he has a really jarring theme that just it sounds like Psycho, the movie. Alright. And now we got the White Godstone, we can now make our way over to the forest. The forest is probably the worst section of the game, and it actually has had a recent rerouting as well. The rerouting for the forest is more based that we learned that there are 3 RNG branching paths. And if you take the wrong one, it will lead you the wrong way. There's consistent paths that lead over to an RNG path, which may have multiple exits. If you take the wrong one, you are kind of just in bad luck, I should say. Also, there's an RNG path that if you get the good one, you get extra chamomile. For new game, it saves a lot of time. If you don't get a new game, well, you just lost 30 seconds because you're not going to have it for the end game. Alright, as long as Ricardo doesn't spawn in this room, we're good. We're good. We can now put the White Godstone on this. Let's open the door. You can actually take it back if you want, but we don't need it, so we can just ignore it. Also, I love how the frog suit will actually carry over to the cutscenes. Although I do want to say, chat, don't get too attached to the frog suit.
But I'm already attached. Right now. What?
You're already attached?
I'm already attached, Ek.
Oh no. You gotta be careful with that one. Bad things happen in the forest. Ever seen a frog in the woods? They don't live very well out there, I don't think. They live by, what, lakes? Rivers and ponds? Alright, I'm gonna go down. I hope this works. Let's try left. So like I mentioned, this is RNG with different branching paths. You'll kind of get similar things, but this might be the wrong one. Hold on. Nope, this looks good. Hey, we got it. Cool, it's a good RNG. So the ending path is always the same, and this forest is entirely RNG, so you kind of be careful where you're going. But I am sorry, chats. Ricardo is such a villain. He has stripped us of our frog suit.
What?
Yep.
How dare he? How dare he?
He does surgery on you at one point, and you have to go through surgery, so he takes off your frog suit. And we don't get it back.
How dare?
Exactly. You think, he's a bad guy. I get it. He has a plot. He wants to try to get our ass off. He wants to kill. Actually, he doesn't want to kill us. He wants to get us pregnant, I suppose. But taking the frog suit's just too far. Also, alchemy and science time. So Ricardo's now invisible. Ricardo, during the surgery, put something called Don't See Ricardo Juice in our eyes. So since we have Don't See Ricardo Juice in our eyes, we can't take a wild guess, see Ricardo. Also, all the frog buffs are now gone. We are now in a normal costume. But the endgame actually gets really speedrun heavy. There are actually major endgame skips in this game, and they're all hilarious because they're going to break the game very much. The early game has mostly just routing and little brave dodges you can do, but we have genuine skips coming up right now. So the goal right here is we are going to be climbing up the spire, and we want to avoid Ricardo because he's invisible since we have the Don't See Ricardo Juice in our eyes. Here we can actually see him though, which allows us to, use Huey. So we spawn Ricardo there. By doing that, we're going to just run all the way back down. We're terrified of Ricardo. We can't actually deal with him. But by going to the screen transition down here, we're going to be able to just get rid of Ricardo. He's gone. I don't know why it does that, but by running back down there, you just immediately despawn Ricardo, and he won't come back until the next, absolute guaranteed spawn that he has. As well, it's imperative that Huey follows you up here, because if he does not, you won't be able to pull this lever. By doing this, you block off the other path. And we're going to need Huey in order to progress, because there's a puzzle at the top that requires both me and Huey. It's the worst Huey puzzle in the game, but if we pass it, we're all done with Huey. Until, one brief section, which is the equivalent of picking up an item. So, another thing you can do, you can actually skip any stuns in the game by jumping. Or, doing the back jump, which the frog suit would be good here, but Ricardo stripped it from us. So, That falls, but we just back up and we skip that. So we don't have to get the stun. We don't have to worry about Ricardo immediately hitting us. We just run back down and then run back up. And guess what? Ricardo's gone again.
Huey.
The Ricardo manipulation here is actually incredibly well done, and it is one of my favorite parts of the run. It is so satisfying. As well, this game has a major glitch. A lot of people who play this game, actually, I watched a friend. I watched earlier. You may have heard her voice during the Outlast run. She'll be doing a run after this. I watched Kat do this recently, casually. And Lorenzo is going to be the final boss of the game, and he's normally really difficult for a variety of reasons. But in the speedrun, you literally don't fight him. You don't see him in the slightest. He is incredibly easy, and I'll explain the glitch in full once we get there.
Is Lorenzo the evil alchemist man?
Yeah, he is actually also he's your grandpa, essentially.
Oh no.
He doesn't want to have the weird pregnancy thing, though. He just wants to drink you like a soup.
Is he the one that looks like Cervantes from Soul Blade?
No, that's Clock Tower 3.
Okay.
Yeah, this game is, it doesn't relate to the Clock Tower lore, but it has plenty of Clock Tower references, and honestly relates more than the other Clock Tower games, so it counts. But this is the Huey puzzle. We need to wait for Huey and hope to God that he can actually do this one. Here we go.
Go.
Okay, so I have to hope to God Huey stays. Normally requires... Oh, Huey, don't do that. This is why I don't like Huey, by the way. I've had many runs on a world record pace where Huey just doesn't cooperate with this.
Stop. Stay.
Oh, come on, Huey. Huey.
Go.
This is also like my entire estimate in one go. Like, the whole reason I made my estimate high was for this one puzzle. I'm not even gonna try it. Alright, we got it that time. Good. Thank you, Huey. Alright. Maybe we have to give him a good boy. But you have to get every single one of these.
Good boy. Stay.
Alright, he's actually doing it now.
Go.
Alright, one more from us and one more from Huey.
Stop.
Please stay. Okay, now we're good.
Go.
So remember how I mentioned that Fiona has, like, powerful feet? You
Yeah.
can see right now she's barefoot, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Remember how you like the kicks?
Yeah, I remember liking the kick animation.
I think Azoth may have two effects. Not only does it give you, like, eternal life or something, or, like, you know, very good lifespan, it also gives you, apparently, rocks for feet. Or, like, diamonds or something, because Fiona could break this with her foot.
Oh, that's not the part of the foot you want to kick with. That.
She destroyed it.
Oh, ow.
I mean, she's powerful. Alright, now's the Ricardo boss fight. So Ricardo's boss fight is actually just a meme.
Huey.
It is... Oh, wrong... Huey, wrong way. Come here. So there's two ways this goes. Also, Ricardo still has the don't see Ricardo juice in his eyes. Or in our eyes, I should say. So he won't be partially invisible here. The boss fight can end really early if Huey cooperates. I see him, he's... Ricardo, stop it. I need Huey to jump on him. Alright, boss fight's done. If you're wondering, he falls off and he dies. But there he is, his not goatee. And Huey did a good... You know what, Huey? You get a good boy for killing a man. Also, this is a scene where Lorenzo sucks the Azoth out of, Ricardo. It's pretty cursed, I'm not gonna lie. You just kinda watch a 100-year-old man give mouth-to-mouth to a younger man, and he sucks the Azoth out of him, and you kinda see the life drain from his eyes. But that's how he gets the Azoth out. He just kind of drinks it like a soup, apparently. Also, now we're all the way in the end game, so the end game's actually really easy. First things first, we don't need Huey anymore. We're gonna leave him up in the tower. Huey now owns this tower. It is his home.
Well, I mean,
if you remembered, we have to make our way back down.
He killed the previous occupant of the tower, so...
Well, yeah, that's how it works. You kill the owner of the house, you get the house, apparently. That's the law of Haunting Ground. Story-wise, really enough, I think Fiona actually owns the house. Like, they actually just give her the house straight up before killing her. I don't know why. Probably because they're assuming if they kill Fiona, they get the house back. Which I guess would make sense in that law. But what we're going to do is, we have to pull the lever to get back down, but you may notice Huey's not staying with us. So we're going to let Huey stay in the tower. He can chill in his new house. He owns it. He'll just be a watchdog at the top of this tower. Alright, say goodbye to Huey, chat. He's now gone. He has no way of getting down now. He'll have all the beef jerky he wants up here. Alright, go back down. And then what we're going to be doing is entering the final old castle, which is across a giant bridge that we spawned earlier. From that, we'll be entering the Lorenzo area of the game. However, like I mentioned, we're going to be doing a massive speedrunning skip, and this is actually like one of the major glitches this game has, and I'll explain everything fully once we're there, but just keep that in mind. Also, here's Ricardo's dead body just chilling. His body's surprisingly fine for a guy who fell, like, hundreds of feet. Like, I've never died, I guess ever. But I don't think your body would be that fine after falling from that kind of height, you know?
I love how you stopped partway through that sentence when you realized you kind of went off the rails there.
I mean, I can't really say I've died before. I mean, I'm currently speaking in front of you.
I would hope you've never died before if you're here running for us.
If I have, that would be a bit of a trip. Anyway, what's supposed to happen is you need to use a candle to blow up a wall while Lorenzo's chasing you here. And at the bottom of these stairs, I go through the door here, we actually get a Lorenzo spawn where an old man will crawl after us at lightning speeds. But we're just going to take the candle. We're not going to go through that door down there. And by taking this candle, we're going to have the trigger we need in order to go through the thing. However, this game is weirdly programmed. You remember Luminescence? Luminescence are programmed in the game as stalkers. They are officially stalkers in the same vein as Debilitus, Ricardo, Lorenzo, and Daniela. So, what the game sees is a stalker chasing you and you have the candle. If you have both of those things, you can go right here and trigger a cutscene. Which is kind of hilarious because I'm just going to show... We have plenty of time, I think. I could just show this off. You're supposed to have, like, Lorenzo crawling after you, but Fiona's just going to look like a mad woman. Like, just watch, like, how she's being attacked and nothing's actually chasing her. She just trips. And, like, normally your foot's getting grabbed, you can't escape, but he just doesn't spawn in the cutscene now.
I love that he's not present in the cutscene because he didn't spawn. It's such a good touch.
Well, it gets even better than that, because it's going to do a few other things. So one, the wall blows up, and normally that gets rid of Lorenzo. However, when you get to the end of this hall, you hit Lorenzo round 2, or he's faster and more determined to get you. But instead of Lorenzo chasing you, this happens. Like, keep in mind, like, he's supposed to spawn at the end of the hall and menacingly chase you. You can, in fact, hear him going like Fiona, right? It's gonna pan up and we'll see him. There he isn't!
Gasp! So spooky!
And then you see it in zoom, and then no one comes after us, so we're safe. So this skips the entirety of the Lorenzo chase sequence. As well, there's supposed to be a boss fight here. After you kick this thing 3 times, Lorenzo spawns as a boss. But he's not actually in the game, so the game just assumes we beat him instantly. Meaning we skip the entire Lorenzo boss. Also, Huey's back. He found his way down from his tower. He got tired of a life of luxury, and he's now back with us. Lorenzo isn't, old Lorenzo isn't the final boss, I should mention. The final boss is going to be a Lorenzo, just not that Lorenzo. There will be a boss fight for the finale, keep this in mind. It's a very fun one. But there's a massive skip that you can just straight up ignore the total final boss of the game. As well, right now, Now, what we're going to be doing is entering this room, which is going to allow us to power on the exit. So, normally on the final boss, which we'll be approaching soon, there's a few ways of dealing with him, but we're going to be using a special New Game Plus route. In New Game, you're supposed to, like, cause fires in the room, and then he steps on them, but we'll be doing something else, which is going to be quite fun. And will kind of further prove my theory of the Azov. Right now, as well, you may have noticed, Huey is, like, 100% obedient. He'll almost always listen to whatever you say. It's pretty crazy. If you have this Huey all game long, it's really good. It's actually theorized that if you load a good Huey file, he should technically carry over to new games, but it's inconsistent.
Clearly,
Anyway,
he's just
this
really
is Huey's
happy
last
because
job.
you gave him a whole tower. Like,
Technically, we didn't give it to him. Ricardo gave it to him. Last act of life. While he was falling down the tower, he clearly yelled, "Huey, you can have the castle." And then he died. Alright, we're now approaching the final boss of the game. Time won't be coming up, though, because you do have to do things after the final boss. But we have to fight him. Every boss is like a gimmick you can do. You can break the chandelier, you can the boxes, you can knock him off the tower. Lorenzo doesn't have a gimmick. He is now a young man, and we're going to kick him apart. We're going to be kicking him a lot in unpleasant areas, and while doing that, he's going to say feudal a lot. So earlier, I equipped something called the powder shoes, or the blast shoes. There's RNG chances my feet will make him explode, because my feet are dynamite, baby.
Oh no, I saw that.
Yep. Normally, you have to kick those little pebbles in to cause fires, but we're just going to kick him to death. Fiona has truly powerful feet. As well, can you imagine this? You live thousands of years only to be taken out by a young woman kicking you apart with a dog, just biting your back the entire time. While he's saying feudal the entire time.
And then sometimes her kicks are also explosions.
Oh yeah. He can also do like Dragon Ball Z fire punches. It's insane. Hey, don't kick Huey. It's not very nice. Huey, attack. Don't ram him. Huey.
Did he
Huey, you activated the fan.
Did he try to ram him and run straight through him?
Oh, Huey will do that sometimes. It does damage, but it's not the best attack. RNG also dictates on if you get the blast shoes or not, but it does like, I think 6 times your damage, and if you get like 6 of those in a row, it's instantly done. So it is a bit RNG dependent. Also, I like how he, like, I don't like it, but I think it's funny how he like combos a dog. Like, he picks up the dog and then punches it. Like, why would anyone deal with a dog that way?
Have you ever gotten that really good luck of like several blast shoe procs in a row?
I think my PB actually has it. Also, there's the fight. He's now dead, and we just kick him apart and he falls into the fire. Run's not over yet, though. We're gonna have to get out of here still. Can you imagine just getting kicked apart like that? He's very happy about it for a guy who just got kicked to death. Alright, he's clearly dead and won't be back. Right? All we have to
That's
do
not
now
how those
is
games
exit the
work.
front door. You ever see the movie Man on Fire?
No, actually.
Oh. Well. There you go. So, there's an earthquake going on, and... Oh god, this is bad. I better be careful here. Hold on. Alright, this is fine. So a fiery Lorenzo is going to chase us. Hold on. There he is. While the earthquakes are happening, I'm going to be jumping backwards and ramming forward. I have the stamina to do so, and that will prevent the fall animation from happening. As well, we're going to have a giant statue. Alright, come on. We shouldn't die. I actually don't know what button I mashed. I just mashed all of them. There could be some bad luck on this one. Alright, we're good. Never mind. He just got chilling behind us. Okay, one more. Alright, and since we still have time in the estimate, I'll play out the final cutscene. Time's not over yet, but it ends when we go to the door.
Okay.
Yeah, here, see? He's Man on Fire.
Oh, goodness.
I mean, imagine how horrifying this is for Fiona. It just... He doesn't die.
He's got so much Azoth in him that he can't die.
He really can't. It's like being burned out of him.
There's a bad Burning Man joke in here somewhere.
There is. Also, he really doesn't die, I should mention this. Like, he lived for... That was a lot of kicks and dog bites he went through. And, you know, burning to death. He's still alive. And then he's finally dead. Okay, and it is now going to be time. But we'll enjoy the ending. We have some things to show here, and it should be within the estimate, I think. But that was Haunting Ground. I hope you all enjoyed it. That run, I didn't die, so I'm always happy with that. I think any run don't die is very good for this game, because it's so, there are some really risky parts. But I'm very happy to show this off. This game has been kind of getting a lot more love lately.
Look at
it is
Huey.
unfortunate. And yeah, Huey kind of gives that reassurance. This game really just kind of started getting around different, like, showcases and scenes. So I'm happy to kind of show this game off and get more love. This game hasn't been getting a lot of love. I've played it lately. It is kind of hard to obtain, but at least being able to watch the game, I think is a very good treat for this. And yeah, this game is definitely Clock Tower. We actually get a Clock Tower reference at the very fact. Which makes this a Clock Tower game, because it's official. Look who it is! The Scissor Man!
Those look more like hedge clippers.
Yeah, they are. But it's the loose Clock Tower reference, which is anything more than Clock Tower 3 has.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, she mad.
It's that stare down when you see them across the room. But he likes us now.
That's what's his face, the first boss, right?
Yep, Debilitus. He's actually baby. But now he owns a whole castle.
Yeah, we left the castle to him.
Yep, he owns an entire castle and he can garden for days now. He doesn't have Ricardo anymore, he doesn't have Daniela, he doesn't have Lorenzo. He just owns an entire castle full of, I guess, babies.
Yeah, you showed me part of this run before on your stream, but I never saw the whole thing, so this was fun.
Oh, yeah. If you want one more Easter egg, I can kind of show you a bit of the sea ending, because it's pretty funny.
Let me
It'll be a quick cutscene if you want.
1 second. Probably not enough time for that.
All good, then. Yeah, Debilitus gets to do his gardening. And then we can see what the IGT was. We don't actually use IGT for this game, though, just because it's not accurate, but you still have to, like, just show off the final screen for officialness.
Mm-hmm.
And we see all our rankings. Alright, let's see that ending screen now. And we got a... let's see... A Fortis Fortuna Juvat, which means fortune favors the bold. The dog level is always D because we don't train Huey at all. And we get track star because we went really fast.
Critical Huey injuries 0. That's the most important.
Yeah, throughout the game, if Huey gets hit too much, you can just ignore, like, just not be able to do anything. But yeah, this has been Haunting Ground, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you like games like these, feel free to check me out on Twitch or something at some point like this. I do plenty of speedruns and stuff over at my channel. I do 69 plus 6 different games now, and I add more very often. So if you like horror games, I do quite a lot of them. I think I have the most of any runner, in fact.
Yeah, Ek is a good place to go if you like spooky games.
A lot of them are pretty bad, but a lot of them are also really good. I don't get to show out the good ones a lot because a lot of other people run the good ones, but this is one of the games that's kind of like one of the hidden gems I got, so to speak. So I just want to say thank you again for having me on the Hotfix, and I hope you all have a great day for that.
Yeah, thanks for being on and showing us this game. It's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
I'm still upset at Ricardo for taking away the frog outfit, but
yeah, it's quite unfortunate.
We'll learn to get over it.
It does
in time.
happen.
But
and then we're back to the main menu.
With that, just thanks once again to Ecdysis for being here and running this game for us. We are going to take a quick break here. We'll be back with Silent Hill 3 after the break, so stay tuned. We'll have a few ads coming up, so if you're subscribed, you won't see the ads. And of course, all of our subscriber and bit revenue for this month is going to the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. It's a very good cause, so consider throwing in a subscription or a Twitch Prime if you have one. But either way, we will see you in just a few minutes. Welcome back everyone to the Community Spotlight. We've got one more speedrun to show you tonight. Catlink and Marforia are back, but this time they have switched positions. We've got Cat, who's going to be here running Silent Hill 3 for us, and Marforia, he's along for the ride, helping us out with commentary this time. So I hope you two are still doing well.
We are doing fantastic. Thank you for asking. Well, I'm doing fantastic. How about you, Mar?
I'm doing wonderful. It was a great night tonight. Got
Yeah,
all
it's
these
been-
spooky games, so heck yeah.
You had Resident Evil 1, you had Outlast 1, you had Haunting Grounds, and now we have some Silent Hill 3. And we're not doing regular Silent Hill 3. We're, as you can see, I have the typewriter out. You might notice the words on the screen, Princess Heart. And we're going for an alternate ending. It's a little bit shorter, but it's an ending that I think a lot of people can cherish if you're a fan of Silent Hill. Everybody knows of the UFO endings, the infamous UFO endings. So be ready for some weirdness, some laser beams, some odd things going on, but I assure you it's going to be great. And yeah. So I think I had it on that screen as well because this game is notorious for jumping into cutscene every now and again. So we're going to be doing this on easy action, easy riddle, and we're going to get started in 3, 2, 1, go.
And we're off.
Off to the races!
It's back.
I love how it said extra new game. Like, because, you know, either it's like New Game Plus or just like, you know, just play again or whatever, but extra new game's a first.
So extra new game actually starts you a little bit later into the game. You get past the nightmare phase. And we kind of just get started right from the get-go after we talk to Douglas, the good old detective. We don't get to see him much in this run, but we do get to see some extra little things that Heather does, which is always a cool thing. So right away, I'm just going to get rid of the gun, because we're not going to use that. We're not going to need any sort of gun. And you'll understand why.
We're gonna use something way better than a gun here.
Oh yeah, and... Hey, Pappy! So I'm gonna need chat to help me out a little bit. We're gonna need to count how many enemies we've killed with our laser beam.
With the beautiful beam.
Yes, which it sounds like she's saying, hey, Pappy, which is kind of weird, but, you know, we roll with it. Which she's actually saying laser beam, but it just sounds completely different from what I hear. Anyway, so I'm going to have to ask chat to count 31 enemies killed.
Alrighty. I'm tallying up here, but everyone here who's watching Cat play, help us count. We all can count, yes?
I hope so. Oh.
Oh, I can kind of hear the laser beam, but it does sound like "Hey, Poppy."
Yeah. So that's,
that's
three.
That's 3.
All right. So we're going to kill a few enemies along the way because it is a requirement to get the special ending.
So how does one acquire the laser beam eyes? Is it just after you complete base game, or did you have to do something else in base game for that?
So you have to kill a total 7452 or 7462. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh, you're good.
Oh, 7452, nice. So to get the Heather beam is what they call it in the game. You have to kill a total of 333 enemies.
Ooh.
And that's not just for one playthrough. I believe you can do it through multiple playthroughs. But you have to kill 333 enemies. That's not including bosses. That's just straight up enemies. So it's a little weird. But once you've done that, you've unlocked the wonderful Heather beam!
Hey, Poppy.
Do you have to, like, finish every playthrough that you're killing enemies on? Or can you just, like, farm it?
You can farm it, essentially.
And then it stacks each playthrough, essentially.
Yeah.
Cool.
So for us, well, since I'm playing on the The PC version, we have like saves that we have like for the speedrunning community anyways, where we don't have to farm it. Somebody else already farmed it for us. So sometimes if we're, oh, thank you. Sometimes if we're not feeling up to doing the farm, because sometimes we have to reinstall the game and it gets a little pesky and we have to redo everything, we'll just generally use that save file.
Doggos. It's like they're channeling their inner Resident Evil, throwing doggos at us. Alright.
Oh.
We are up to 6 enemies, I believe. Unless you're killing Big Girl here, too.
Yeah, that's 2 of them.
Okay. So we're up to 7.
Generally, I usually use the Princess Heart outfit for this, which is a totally different kind of beam. You'll see it in just a few moments, because we're getting up to the skip of the game. So we do go out of bounds in this game. It's a little bit rough around the edges, to say the least. It's not always a pleasant out of bounds, so I'm going to save real quick because we can soft lock from it, and I don't want that to happen. That would be very unfortunate. So there's a nice little save over here that I'm going to use.
The escalators.
Yeah, right here. Always forget which TV it is. Alright, so we're just gonna pick this random save. There we go. Alright, and away we go.
That is very bright red.
Yeah. It actually bothers some of the people in my community's eyes, and I'm like, I'm sorry. Alright, so...
It's okay, guys. It's not Cat's fault. It's the game's fault. Blame it on the game.
Oh, we did get that. So what I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to get the menu in the load screen. And it's a little bit hard to do because sometimes you just go right to the next floor. Oh, there we go.
There you go. Nice. And she's gonna transform.
And there we go. We're transforming. Sailor Moon time.
definitely not inspired by Sailor Moon or any magical girl anime. This is totally original.
This is completely original content.
First time seeing it ever, everyone. They even got the spins down and everything too. Blue boots.
I'm hoping we got it. We got it! Yes! Alright, sorry, I get a little...
officially out of bounds.
So I have a little setup there to avoid getting stuck. Alright, I think we're in the right place. So you can see we're traveling into the void, and if I move ever too much to the right, too much to the left, that can cause a soft lock. It's really hard to get soft lock, but it has happened to me, so that's why I did make the save, so that way that doesn't happen. I also try to listen for her footsteps, because sometimes she'll move faster and sometimes she'll move slower. So you want her to move a little bit slower. I think we're... Please... Ah, there it is! Hey! We got it!
That was easy.
There it is! Perfect.
Well
all right.
done.
We got it. No headaches. No fuss. We're good. So now we're going to be going off into the sewer section. We skipped a whole lot of content there. We skipped an entire boss, actually. So we don't have to do that. We just have to go on about our day, and now we have a spunky little outfit. We get to be one of the Martians.
It's a pretty great outfit.
Yeah, it's called the Princess Heart outfit. You can unlock it before you start your playthrough, but I personally just like to, you know, it's like we put it on at the escalators, so you get to see a little bit of both of the laser beams, which is cool. All right.
Are there any other laser beams after this, or is it just for those 2 outfits?
Well, there's 3 different types of laser beams that you can do with Heather. I mainly do one of the laser beams for this outfit, just because it's, I don't know why the other laser beam's really finicky for me, so I just don't bother half the time. All right. So how many enemies are we at right now?
We are at 7.
Okay. Perfect. All right, so we got 3 dogs up here. And I'm gonna just kill them for the sake of it. I'm sorry, chat.
I mean, it's a game, we have to kill. That is a neat laser beam. It's like we got some dodecahedrons up in here.
Oh.
You said that was 3 dogs? Oop.
Yeah. Alright. I think we got 2 of them. We'll count the 2. That's fine.
Okay.
There is 3 of them though, so sometimes if the third one decides to come and play, you know, we'll get him too, but unfortunately sometimes he's a little camera shy, so we just leave him be.
All right, so we're at 9. I might have preemptively did that strike on 10, but it's okay. I'm going to count it for a future enemy.
Yeah, sometimes I'll kill extra enemies just to be safe.
And if that extra enemy died off screen, then it's just a buffer, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So we skipped a part where we actually would pick up a shotgun generally for the normal speed run or the normal route. Good old shotgun or trusty shotgun. We don't need that. We don't need no weapons. We got the Heather Beam, the ultimate power. Nobody needs no guns. We got the best thing.
Man, if I ever ran Silent Hill, I'd want to run this category right here.
It's a really short run for the most part. Oh, excuse me.
More doggos.
Yep, we leave those ones alone because unfortunately if we're not fast enough on the tracks, we can get ran over and we don't want that.
Oh, wow. So it's like not a scripted
Oh, there's
thing.
the
It's
third
like...
beam.
There we go. Whoa. That's like something that would melt metal.
Yeah, that's the third type of beam. It's just literal, like, you just completely laser them to death.
I like to think the reason Heather has these powers is just because the fact that she is existing in this realm right now. Like,
it's an alternate reality of some sort. So now that we've finished we're making our way home. We got some enemies to say goodnight to. Generally, you'll know if they're dead once you see the pool of blood, or when you hear they make like a noise. They'll, like, for the numb bodies, they'll make a noise. I don't know how to exactly imitate it. There we go. Excuse me. Pardon me.
we're up to 13.
13. Okay, we're golden. Oh, what am I doing? Hello? My brain's thinking 30 steps ahead right now. You know when your brain moves faster than your body parts move faster than your brain does, or other way around? Yeah, that's kind of that. All right. On our ways to the sewer. So recently there's actually been a new skip discovered. I'm not going to do that skip just because it was recently discovered within like the last week or so, and I haven't had time to properly practice it. So for the sake of everyone and not completely destroying everything that I'm working so beautifully at here, I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to avoid that, but I would love to eventually show you guys that skip. It's actually pretty cool. Alright, so that's 2. Add that to the tally.
So we got 2. That's up. You're up to 15 now.
Nice.
About halfway there.
Ooh, we're halfway. Sorry, DMC, I don't want to do that.
Whoa. That's it.
Yeah, we're just gonna stop it right there. Oh, that's 2. Nice.
Oh, that was 2? Nice.
That was 2.
So we're up to 17. 17.
Nice. Hello, sir. May I interest you in some laser beams?
He eats laser beams for breakfast.
Clearly. He was enjoying that.
Up to 18 now.
Alright, so we're just gonna grab our trusty dusty wine bottle, our sewer wine. Can't go wrong with that, right?
Made lovingly in the sewer. What can go wrong?
Hi, sir.
Oh, wow. Didn't even see that one.
Yeah, you can hear. I can hear them around, so if I hear one really close, I'll generally grab them. Alright,
We're
so
up
it's a little
to...
quiet now.
We're up to 19.
Oh, damn. Okay. Hello, sirs. That's another 2.
Another 2.
So now we can start skipping a few enemies here and there. I like to get them early. You know, get them out of the way so we don't have to worry about the ones later on. But then again, the ones later on are most problematic than these ones.
Is that just so you're not quite as beholden to RNG on where they are?
Well, the ones later on are actually, so they knock you over and stuff like that. So that's why they're the most problematic ones and probably the ones you would want to kill the most. And generally, I will kill them on my run just to be safe. But we can actually start skipping some enemies so we can save those ones best for last.
It's probably just more of a weight lifted off your shoulders too once you get like over half of these enemies out of the way.
Yeah, because it is such
on.
a short run, and you're never too sure. Like you're never too sure if you're gonna get them all. So especially since I'm terrible at counting all the enemies, so I have to constantly I'll usually overkill.
Well, you're up
just
to
be
21.
safe.
You're up to 21 right now.
Nice. All right.
That means Heather can go play blackjack now.
Lucky hit. Oh, sorry. That's Shenmue. All right. So we're now going to make our grand escape slowly through the sewers. We're almost done with it, but first we got to go grab ourselves our blow dryer. We got to make sure our hair's nice and done. You know, just for the aliens.
We would think these nice earmuffs would keep our hair like nice and tidy, but you know, extra hair dryer won't hurt.
You know, she's been in the sewers. Her hair gets wet.
You ever
you gotta
run
dry it
around
off.
with like headphones or something like that on your head for a while, or just move around too much? It just like messes up your hair.
Oh yeah, you get like the headphone hair.
Yeah.
All right, so we got our hair dryer. Honestly, I would love a pair of these headsets just to wear around the house, and maybe out in public, and just be like, I'm waiting for the aliens. I'm waiting for them to take me one day.
Take us away, please.
One of these days.
Those would be great if like the little deedly bobbers on top like just glowed a little bit. That'd
Oh
be
my god,
awesome.
that'd be amazing.
They sparkle a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of bounce. They bounce with you. Ooh, hello, sir.
I don't know if there's a technical term for those, but we always called them deedly bobbers as a kid.
Thingamabobs.
I think I called them like bobbles. So the hair dryer opens the door? Or
Yeah, so the hair dryer we use to kill an enemy in the water. So if you try to go over that bridge before using the hair dryer, well, you die. I think you have no choice. You die. So we grab the hair dryer, use it, put it in the water, and enemy no more, and we move on with our day. Also, we killed 2 more. I think we're at 23 now.
okay.
Did we?
I think.
I thought you killed 1, but if you killed 2, then we are up to 23.
Yeah, we killed the giant numbody and the small numbody.
Did
Yep,
we?
and it is indeed 23.
Did we just
There we go.
weaponize a hair dryer where you're just dropping it in the water while plugged in?
Yep.
Whatever works, I guess.
I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. Hair dryer being one of them. Unfortunately, now we can't dry our hair, and it's an unfortunate situation.
I always thought it was nicer to like let it naturally dry, because with the thick curly hair, sometimes it could be a little wonky.
Yeah, you know, I got that curly hair. If I blow dry my hair, it gets all fuzzy and it's all over the place.
The cat knows.
Yep.
Yeah.
Curly hair
Mine's
problems.
similar. Mine's not super
We all
curly,
know.
but it definitely does that if I work too
Curly
hard
hair
at drying
club.
it.
Yup. I know it will. That's why if I blow dry my hair, I'm straightening my hair right after, because I don't want to deal with that fuzz. Alright, so now we're making our way to the, it's kind of like a business building, if you want to call it that. I don't know. There's a lot of different things. You know, there's a dance school in here.
Ooh.
There's
Heather
all
would do
sorts
well
of stuff.
there.
Oh yeah, she would be great. You know, she has her outfit already and everything for the dance recital. Alright, so we're gonna push this mattress, and we're gonna jump down because unfortunately there's no other way. Whee!
Ooh.
We need a comfy landing. So one thing that's great about this game, I love the movement in this game. It's probably one of the games that has the best, one of the Silent Hill games that has the best movement in my opinion. Just because the strafing is so satisfying. I love it. Like, especially this segment right here.
Yeah, I've seen a couple times where like you could see like Heather's feet. Yeah, like you were kind of doing that earlier when you were progressing through a few hallways. I'm like, oh, that seems very smooth.
Yeah, the strafing in this game is one of my favorites.
Was that one?
Yep, that was one.
Okay.
I like that camera angle with the glowing eyes and the hair covering them just a little bit, so it looked like it was glowing heart eyes as she was laser beaming them.
Yeah. Yeah, she's got the glowing eyes, and that's a nice little touch to the laser beams. So what number are we at?
We're at 24.
All right. Oh, okay. Now you gotta die.
Oh wow, that was rude. We were just gonna leave you alone, but now take the beam. All right, that is 25.
We killed 2 there.
And 26.
A lot of people are interested in our door-to-door laser beam service today.
Oh.
Only for a small fee.
Oh, what am I doing? I'm going the wrong way. There we go.
That's okay. It happens.
Yeah.
Small detour.
Little detour. I was like, we're not using the elevator yet, Kat. What are you doing? Now we use the elevator. Well, kinda.
You were just so excited to use it. Couldn't wait.
Like I said, my head, my brain is 5 steps ahead already. So we got a jack and a rope, because we couldn't use the elevator. So we had to figure a way out to use that elevator, and just so happens to be a jack and a rope.
Yeah, I love how Heather's moving throughout there, because like you see kind of like her hips and legs moving one way and her head's still facing forward.
I just gotta say, that's impressive. It takes some real athleticism to just use a rope like that.
Yeah, especially like, you know, we had Mars Athlete of the Year Miles.
Oh, during Outlast.
Yeah, we running for days, and then we have Heather, who just so happens to know how to climb a rope like it's no tomorrow.
It's one of those things like when you were a kid, like you could do it no problem, but then you get older and more muscle mass and body mass, you're just like, wow, this is harder than I remember. So
yeah.
That was one enemy you killed.
Yes.
One? It was one.
That was one.
All right, we're up to 27.
Nice.
Got 4 more to go.
Yes. All right. All right. So we got a pork liver. Don't question it. Just accept it, chat. Don't wonder. No, just don't ask about it. It's fine. It's fine.
And they're collecting a random pork liver with our laser beam eyes and alien outfit. Nothing unusual here, everyone.
Exactly.
Pretty typical Monday night.
Oh.
You know, that's not that unusual for this show, so I think you're just right. We've had some weird games on this show before.
Oh, I would imagine.
It's not a GDQ hotfix without featuring some of those unusual games.
Oh, so this is our other laser beam?
Yep.
Yeah, I was gonna say you swapped laser beams.
Yeah, because sometimes it just happens, and I just accept it.
So that's 28?
I believe so.
Yep, we are up to 28.
Oh, hello. Combine.
Combining liver.
She sometimes has this weird wonky hitbox where she's just like, nah, I don't want to do that. There we go.
Yeah, some
so
games
we're just making a fire. No big deal. She's a chemist now. So we had to get rid of that painting to get to this door. How she knew that door was there, you will never know. But here's some enemies that we gotta kill because they are the most problematic ones. They will push you over. They will knock you down. They will make your day miserable. Oh, excuse me.
I feel like there were probably easier solutions than burning it with
Yeah,
chemistry.
see, this is what I mean.
Oh, yikes. Whoa, she just falls flat on her back too. That takes some time to get up from.
Yeah, she just takes a nap. So that was 3.
That was 3. So you're up to your 31.
Oh, nice. I think I can just get past this guy, hopefully. There we go. Alright, and use that... Excuse me. Excuse me.
Is that a vending machine?
I like how she needs to be a little bit to the left to be able to use a certain thing. It's like, oh, you're not perfectly centered to that item? No.
No, the games are really picky like that sometimes. You need to be perfectly in front of it, or else, no inputs allowed.
Yeah, pretty much. All right, so we're coming to the end. Very, very close. Very, very, very close. So we're up to our 31, right? Correct?
Yes, we are. I mean,
All
I
right.
think chat can confirm too. We're up to that 31, so hoping that's hoping we could still count. Yes.
All right, hopefully. I trust you, chat. I put everything into you, chat. I'm trusting you right now. I hope you got your numbers right. Because we're about to come to that ending, and we're going to be coming up on time very, very shortly. Yeah, this is one of the shorter categories. The main category is about 50 minutes long, give or take, which is also a wonderful category. I do run that as well. And with the new skip, I'm probably going to come back to this game because she's a juicy one, and I'm excited because that's a minute time save. All right. So
Always
time's
fun to
gonna
come
be,
back.
yeah. So time's gonna be coming up when I touch this door, when I enter this door, when the screen goes to black, and we're coming out of time and time.
I'm home, Dad. Listen.
Woo! You did it!
Daisy's going
Now for the cutscene.
GG's.
Enjoy.
That was easy.
And that's about it.
GG's. I love the casual alien chilling out with them too.
Yeah. The UFO endings are also goofy.
I love it. I like it how it had it all. It had Silent Hill 1, Harry Mason, it had Silent Hill 2, it had them all just jumbled up into one ending. I love it.
It's too good.
And now for the greatest song of all time. Chat, I hope you enjoy it. Take a moment to bask in its gloriness. It's a little weird, but you'll love it.
Turn it up a little bit.
Wonderful. It's wonderful. Gather around, everyone.
Get your dance emotes coming out. I want to see them all.
Sour, please.
Get your sour pleases.
よーし、みんな素直だ。素直が一番成長するぞ。それじゃあ、そんな成長期のみんなでサイレントヒルの歌を歌おうかな。よーし、いくよ。
I want to go Nana. Shake it, chat.
Oh yay!
Shake it, shake it.
We may not or may not be dancing in our chairs.
じゃあまずはクローディアの歌ね。みんなは歌わなくていいよ。クローディア、本当は優しいおばさんだ。お菓子とか買ってくれるし、お年玉くれるし。だけどね。
おくろとかわいい。Interiorの歌みんなで歌おうみんなで歌いましょう
You hear that, everyone? Now every time Kat runs this category, she has to sing this song. Every time. So go to
I
her
tend
stream.
to anyways.
Every time. While eating olives. I'm kidding. No olives allowed.
わがままだよ Silent Hill の歌みんなで歌よみ Aminadu. Aminadu. Imasho. Sorry, I can't help myself.
I feel like that's a mandatory thing if you run this category. You have to sing
Pretty
this song.
much.
It's too good. How can you not?
朝とかやたら早いし、磯の香りするし。それはね、魚屋さんだから。I can't believe you.
Well, the voice of Heather was also named Heather. That's pretty wild.
Yeah.
Today I learned.
No, Minadu. I like how they sound like they're getting like a little bit more drunk as it goes. This is the Team Silent singing this, by the way.
They were just like ready to party by the end of this game. They're just like, come
Pretty
on, guys,
much.
let's do this.
育児とか大変だし、パートも行けないといけないし。だってさ、ヤンママだからなめんなやって感じ。
Inoda, Aminadu, Aminadu, Aminadu. I'm terrible at Japanese.
Silent Hill. Love it.
That's all for now, folks!
She did it, everyone! Hooray! GG's! GG's cat.
Yay!
Did amazing.
Thank you, everybody, for watching. That was Silent Hill 3 UFO ending. I hope you enjoyed that little slice of weirdness in the gaming world and the horror community. We got a 1932 IGT.
Whoa.
Not bad. That's not bad. We take that. We take those. It could be a little bit better, but hey, we know we take it. But I just want to say thank you for everybody watching. Thank you for everybody who stuck around for the entire show. I hope you guys had a good time watching everybody doing their runs. Mar, thank you very, very much for doing commentary with me.
Of course.
And thank you, Ryokun, for also, joining in, having a good time with us. Muchly appreciated, and all the hard work you've done throughout this entire show, getting everybody together. Much appreciated.
Well, thank you for being here and running for us. And of course, it's basically impossible not to have you two here playing games and not have a good time. So.
Aww. Thank you for always for being awesome, Railcoon. Thank you everyone for being wonderful and watching, and just thanks for having us. You guys are amazing. Wonderful group of folks here.
But if you are curious on who I am, my name is Catlink. If you're just tuning in, or if you're not sure who the heck is this speedrunner, my name is Catlink. I stream full-time on twitch.tv/Catlink. If you want to come check me out, that'd be super cool. I'd love to have you here. I'm probably going to be running more Silent Hill 3 in the near future, so yeah. Anyways, thank you again for having me. Appreciate you all. Have a lovely evening, and be good.
Yeah, thanks again. I want to thank everybody else who was here with us today. So Mar, of course, and Witchrain and Ecdysis, Clicks Gaming for helping out with commentary before. It was a fun night of spooky games, but we've got more spooky games coming up this week. If you want to see more of the horror games, tomorrow Resident Evil 3 is going to be on random number generation starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern. And on Thursday, Hobbs and Keys are going to be semi-blind racing Resident Evil 2 as part of the First Step, a series where they go into kind of the first steps into learning a speedrun. So that's going to be a bunch of fun this week. If you enjoyed tonight, make sure you tune in for all of that. Otherwise, check out all the lovely people we had on our show tonight. But we're going to go take a quick break, play a few ads, and then we're going to raid you into somebody else who's doing horror games. So if you stick around, you can cheer on somebody who's speedrunning horror, and we'll see you tomorrow.